hello, internet. Of course.
Hello.
Like, hey, let's get started. And I was like, oh, wait, the second monitor. It's not a Kudro stream.
Did you make that exact noise? Because
sounds legit.
Yeah.
Do you guys get an echo at all or no? You're good.
No,
Awesome.
I don't have an echo.
We're professionals, guys.
Oh,
Yep.
so excited about that.
Well,
Right.
we're something.
Or something.
That's for sure.
Unique.
You guys might be something. I'm just a hot mess. Okay. Emphasize
Well,
the hot.
And that is something.
I was just gonna say you got
Didn't
the
wanna
second
say
part
it,
right.
but-
At least.
All right. You know what, Dustin? Why you gotta shit on my dreams?
Because I can only shit on people out of character.
Shitting on people.
I mean, you could yeah, it's
You're
true.
trying to make
I
me
mean,
believe
if
that
everybody's
half
cool
goat
with
man
it.
doesn't drop pellets as he walks, because I call
Oh
bullshit.
no.
Disgusting. Thank you for that mental image.
Fine.
No. Dermot does not just drop pellets as he walks.
Well, he
Rose,
does
I
now.
love your new headset, by the way. I didn't say
Thank
it
you.
earlier. It looks good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Sorry. Breaking into the conversation and say that.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. All right.
All right.
So we are live.
We are alive on the interwebs.
Should sit up like a goddamn grown up instead of
Whatever.
slouching like I'm
Oh,
5.
you want to know how I work?
Whatever.
Legit, I did too. It's terrible.
And then I wonder why my back hurts by the end of the day.
Yeah, right?
Really? You sit like this? I sit like this, like a gremlin.
Yeah.
Do that with like one leg
Yeah.
bent, and I'm sitting on that foot, and that foot's
Mhm.
gonna fall asleep at some point. It's fine.
That's exactly what I'm doing right now. It's under.
It is-
my foot is underneath me, and I'm just sitting like this.
It is both
like
a blessing
pad.
and a curse that I can physically not sit like that in this chair.
Yeah.
It is a horrible bad habit. It messes up my knees, but I
You're
don't
a
know
horrible
why.
Bad habit.
Oh, that's me.
And yet you can't kick me.
I know. All right.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So welcome
I-
to decision.
Oh.
Oh,
No.
oh,
No.
see,
Wait.
yep, never mind.
Can
She
I-
was getting an echo, so
Can I
think she's trying to
do it?
fix
Can I do the thing?
Yes. Do the thing. Introduce us.
Well, let's wait
Welcome
for-
to Decisions and Dragons.
Oh man.
Right.
Every time you have to do it.
Never
every time.
gets old.
All right, I
Never
can do it
gets
with
old.
less neck movement.
No.
Oh my god, I'm watching the replay. Yeesh.
Now I
Welcome,
can gif
everyone.
that.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh,
If we,
I
ever
already.
if we get one of those dedicated fans that makes like those Critical Role montages and they do clips of the Decisions and Dragons dance, I would.
I need
I
a
could
gym.
die
You have
happy.
to have a different one each week
Just
now.
9 hours of just a loop of Kuja with this.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure Dustin is the only one with the dedication to put your face on a shirt every week.
True.
It's a bard thing.
Just realized I'm wearing a copywritten shirt. Pardon me while I
Oh
sit here with
my.
my hands folded.
I mean-
No, that's true. I don't know how the whole Twitch, like what you
It's
can and
fine.
can't wear
I'm
and
sure the
whatever.
shirts are.
I'm sure you're fine.
But yeah.
I'm sure if
so-
you're not fine, they'll tell you.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome anyone watching to the Nerdhouse Tabletop stream. We are very excited, as you can tell, to announce our weekly streamed game of Dungeons and Dragons titled
Decisions and Dragons.
Oh my god.
and
I'm
never
like
get
praying
old.
I don't smack my water cup over my actual work stuff.
I'm waiting for you to smack your microphone. It's just
Yeah.
gonna go.
I'm waiting for him to
Go
smack
flying.
himself in the face.
All right. So great. I'm really glad everybody has really good faith in me to not hit anything.
as
Okay.
anybody watching can see on the stream, we have, yes, our new game entitled Decisions and Dragons. We'll be streaming Wednesdays at 6:30 Central. And you'll be able to see us on socials, all that normal jazz, but here on Twitch, 6:30 Central every Wednesday.
Yeah. Big things. We were we've actually been thinking about doing this for, God, like months.
Forever.
And the amount of ideas that came out of like, what kind of game do we want to play? It was like a solid page of different kinds of games that we were thinking about playing. Until we were thinking, a lot of us have watched all of Critical Role, not Rhodes. And a lot of us are a fan of Critical Role, not Rhodes.
I'm a fan. I'm just behind.
I'm pretty sure that Cujo, I'm pretty sure you and Tina are the only two who aren't behind.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to catch up on the one.
That is a lie. Tina is not caught up. She's only caught up on the current arc. She hasn't seen most of the second campaign.
I'm like half caught up on second campaign, and then everything from 98 onward.
Yeah, we're on episode 69 of campaign.
So I'm missing 30. Okay. It's not that. I'm not that bad anymore. But yes, no, I am current though.
All right.
I mean, we're not, so
We're not.
I know I can't talk about it with anyone.
I mean, Sam took 700 years to finish campaign 1.
Listen.
Wait, does that mean I'm the highest level Critical Role fanboy in this group?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't.
If you're caught up, then yes.
Yes.
Just give us like a month while we caught up.
Like
okay.
2.5 years.
Oh, you don't understand. In our house, we go through like 2 episodes, 3 episodes a day.
I remember in my big heyday, I was working at this retail job that was dead all the time. And I was alone in the store all the time. So that meant that I could literally just sit in the back and power through 2 to 3 episodes of Critical Role per shift. So yeah, that's where the majority of my viewing happened, was in that gross ass back room.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I used to like listen to it
back and forth to Iowa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking, and this campaign is going to take place in Matt Mercer's world of Taldore. Since
Speaking of Critical Role,
source book is out, and we've I've had it. I just haven't really dug into it as much. This gave me an excuse to. So the party is already essentially have gone through a session 0/0/5/1, who knows. And yeah, so tonight was going to be essentially kind of starting off of where we left off after last session. Who would like to recap?
I would love to recap. Clearly the most important thing that happened in the last session was I did not find those poor guards tomatoes.
I'm never using Thieves' Cant again. I'm never going to try to actually say in Thieves' Cant anything.
Please
The tomatoes are the friends you made along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they'll have to be. Because, as it turns out, tomatoes are out of season.
I mean, a little.
A touch of winter.
No, we had arrived in Whitestone for the Winter's Crest Festival and were alerted, I guess, to an issue happening outside the town. And we were sent by none other than the great and glorious Gilmore to go investigate and see what was up. And it turned out that I don't think we actually ever identified them. I believe they were some kind of shadow or specter or some other kind of ethereal undead that were haunting this graveyard and people napping. I mean, we found one person, but it wasn't a child. They weren't kidnapping.
Nope.
They were adult napping.
Not even really napping so much.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely technically a long sleep in a way.
Yeah.
Fixating on the wrong thing.
But yes, we identified the threat, dealt with the threat, and I almost died because I only have 18 hit points.
And you ran ahead. Don't
Yeah.
hint that detail.
Because I'm faster than everyone
Yeah,
and
that's it.
have the least amount of hit points.
So this is going to work out really well.
Yes.
It's gonna be great. I don't believe any of you are tanks either.
No, I'm the closest thing to the tank.
This is gonna be great.
It's gonna be
No,
awesome.
It's
totally
fine.
fine.
You kill Faraday, I got 2 more in the wings.
But-
Although the one's a
but
wizard,
the tank
so
hurts themselves.
yeah.
Technically, it won't be me killing Faraday.
No,
it will
probably
be either a
me.
decision or
Or
a
a
dragon.
Possibly both.
Well,
Possibly
we had
both.
already covered the danger of decisions.
Yes.
Thanks to mine.
Yeah,
Very good
and
example.
and you're right, Rhodes. You know, start a combat, she takes up to D4 damage on her own. So she's a great tank.
Because
But yeah.
Blood Hunter.
Couple minor things that Dustin neglected to mention.
I mean, I hit all the important bits.
You did.
All about
The
Dermot.
tomatoes mostly.
The person who had alerted you of the stuff going on outside of the town was one Gilmore.
Great and glorious Sean Gilmore.
Great and glorious Gilmore. And he was having this conversation with you in the Wild Rose Tavern in Whitestone, managed by a human woman named Marin, who's got a little rough and tumble, some cool braids going into the side of her hair. She's got long, dark hair, got a few scars here and there, who referred to Gilmore as Dad. You guys made your way back to Whitestone after a pretty damn terrifying journey dealing with the shadows, where upon going into your rooms, Faraday thought she saw somebody that she recognized. But with that in mind, let me just get some sort of ambient sounds going here if I can. Also, big, huge thanks, because we're going to be doing some ambient sounds, maps, and tokens and all the stuff. We actually wanted to give a huge shout out to some of the sites and whatnot that are essentially supplying these things. First off, I want to give a humongous, heartfelt shout out to 2 Minute Tabletop, because they are releasing their maps are incredible. And they're starting to release maps with an encounter along with minis, which I think is pretty cool too. For anybody who's playing digitally, go to 2minutetabletop.com because they're awesome. I want to give another shout out to Tabletop Audio, which is another Patreon that I support that supplies all sorts of ambient sounds, music, stuff to accompany your tabletop sessions. I want to give a shout out to other places that I have on my list totally in front of me. Obviously, it goes without saying, huge thanks to Roll20, because this is the system that we're going to be using, at least for now. And Roll20 is essentially just giving us this big, crazy toolbox or toy box to play with. And then, of course, huge thanks to all of the people at Critical Role. We love the show so much, and we're all huge fans of it, and we're super excited to start this game because it means that we get to play around in the world and see where it takes us. So, give those little shout outs here. But courtesy of Tabletop Audio, let me get some Lonesome West music or whatever the hell. You all awaken in your rather nice Wild Rose Tavern rooms. And things seem quiet. And mind you, you're still in your rooms, but one by one, you guys start waking up, and things seem just a little on the quiet side. Usually, maybe in the taverns that you guys have stayed in the past, you guys can hear activity coming from below, maybe people coming in for breakfast or anything like that. Things seem a little bit quieter than usual. And you can't quite decide if that's a good thing in that it's relaxing or if it's worrying.
What time of morning day is it?
I would say, given when you guys had made your way back into town, because you guys traveled almost through the night.
Yeah.
It is closer to 10:30 in the morning.
So we're sleeping in a little.
Yeah. What do you guys do?
Thurston wakes up and realizes what time it is and like immediately looks around because he's never been allowed to sleep in that late before.
Oh man.
Does he do the panicked? Oh my gosh, like it's school time and I'm late.
Yes, he has that
But
feeling
then you
of
find
like,
out it's Saturday.
When
Yeah,
you
you're like,
wake
"Oh,
up on
right."
Saturday at like 10 a.m. and you're like, oh God, work.
Yeah. Kidding, I do that. Anyway.
Maybe on other days that end in Y as well.
Yes. But yeah, he wakes up and so he looks like he's like, oh, waking up. And then he realizes, oh God, the sun is not where I thought it would be. Oh God, why is mom not yelling at me? Why didn't anybody wake me up? Is mom okay? And then he suddenly remembers where he is. It's like, oh, yeah, mom's not here. I left. And then starts to like get dressed. But yes, he does have that moment of panic before starting to head downstairs.
Dermot will wake up, throw on a t-shirt and or pants. I don't know if satyrs even wear pants. He probably wears pants.
He's not going to double bucket.
Roll me a percentile die.
Percentile?
Yeah, I said it.
Roll for pants. Gotcha.
You know how in the D&D Beyond character sheet you can put in custom skills and stuff? I want you to put one in there labeled pants.
Each day you have to roll, and that's how much pants you have.
That is an 89. I am 89% pantsed.
So you're wearing some little pantaloons, like crop.
Yeah.
These are like
wearing
capris.
capris.
Yeah.
You know, considering that you guys traveled through the night and you were all exhausted, the only thing that is undone about your pants is the button, and the belt is like hanging by like one belt loop.
That's fine. That's perfect.
You were pretty drunk last night, Dermot.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to scamper my way downstairs. And
do you fix your pants?
on the way, I guess.
For a hot second, you guys hear what sounds like metal clanging across the ground and instinctively look outside and see Dermot quickly adjusting his belt.
And I will scamper downstairs. And is Marin at the bar?
Yes. As you make your way downstairs, you can see that Marin, the bar itself is empty, other than in the corner table, right next to a rather large window, is Marin sitting with Gilmore. Marin has a expression of a little bit of worry as she is speaking with Gilmore.
I shout from the bottom of the stairs across the tavern, Marin, have we missed breakfast?
Marin like half jumps out of her skin a little bit and turns and recognizes that it's just the loud fawn. No, I'll get right on it. And she kind of gives Gilmore a passing look and then makes her way towards the kitchen. What are the rest of you guys doing? Thurston,
They are
mid panic attack after waking up after sleeping in.
Real quick, I will tell you what they're all doing. Because Dermot is going to race back upstairs, and I am going to cast pyrotechnics in the hallway to wake everyone up.
Wow.
And I am going to shout, we're about to miss breakfast! Get up! Get downstairs!
Okay, let me rephrase my question.
I'm going to mark that
What
off.
were you doing?
So, I don't sleep, or I don't have to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I was note-taking the entirety of the prior day's journey.
Okay.
Because that was weird, and I don't know what those things were, and I do not want to see them again. And with the way our luck goes, we probably will. And yeah, so I'm awake at the time of the shout, but not expecting the indoor fireworks. So mostly do a sort of like, oh God, scramble under the bed. Because that's a bad sound to happen indoors.
It's a good call.
Until I hear Dermot's voice calling from the hall, at which point it makes complete sense. And I kind of crawl out from underneath it a little red-faced, being like, I should have probably expected that. I think this is going to be a thing. And just sigh and gather up my things.
Okay.
Bring my notebook with me. Bring the piece of fabric that we found the prior night with me.
Mm-hmm.
In case we can perhaps get some more information on that group. Sure. And slowly head downstairs.
Sounds good. Cadriel.
I am still sleeping. I don't have that sense of, oh God, am I allowed to sleep in this late? Like my dear friend Thurston does. And she was also pretty drunk last night, so she probably managed to get her shoes off and her sword belt and most of her armor and just kind of face planted on the bed and absolutely fell asleep. And she probably did somewhat of a jump/roll off the bed onto the floor when she heard the pyrotechnics and jumps up and grabs both of her swords. And she just goes, and she hears Dermot yelling and just, fucking Dermot.
Yeah.
And
collective face palm.
She probably has a bit of a headache, from whatever the hell it was Marin gave them. And she just kind of slowly gets dressed and makes her way downstairs looking fairly groggy, still slightly bedhead as she kind of straightens herself out. And she just looks around and said, I thought you said breakfast was ready.
We're about to miss it.
Faraday. What were you doing?
Before I say what Faraday was doing, anybody watching, if you are watching on a browser, we do have a Twitch overlay connected to our D&D Beyond character sheet. So if you hover over the screen, a little D&D Beyond beat pop up on the right-hand side. And then if you click on that, the left-hand side, a panel will slide out that you can hover over. You'll see all of our hit points in real time, and you'll see everyone's character portraits. And if you click on that character, you'll see their character sheet. So you'll be able to kind of see everything in real time, and all of that jazz. So you'll be able to kind of see if you're interested in what class we're playing or race, or somebody does something super cool and you want to know what it is. You can take a look at our character sheets that way, and they'll update in real time if we're in combat, things like that. And side note, it does only work on a browser, so if you're watching on your phone, on the Twitch app, or on a console, it won't work. You do have to be on a actual browser. End of trend.
That's lame and super cool.
Wow.
Wow.
That went places.
Screw you, I got it to work after a week.
Yeah, it looks good.
That was the super cool part. Lame that it only works in a browser.
Oh, cool.
Excuse me while I pull us up in a
Faraday, also not having to sleep, has been trying to meditate. Was able to get at least a couple hours of rest. Is a little bit of a stretch. She is physically resting, but her mind is kind of racing a little bit with what she She's not sure if she saw what she saw in the hallway, and it could have been the drink, it could have been she was hit by those shadows so many times and they nearly sapped all her strength. She's kind of she pretty much spends the evening, the night, trying to kind of justify what she saw. And she watches the sun kind of rise, and the fireworks show does not take her by surprise. It might as well be her regular alarm. And
Fair.
as she hears the familiar voice of the satyr calling down the hall, she just shakes her head and kind of smiles and gathers her things, re-equips her armor, puts her whip on her belt, grabs her pack, and moseys out of the heading down.
All right. Thurston. So we already knew that you were kind of realizing what time it was. How do you react to the sudden explosion of sound and merriment right outside your door?
So at that point, he was probably about halfway through putting on his trousers.
And now he has fancy ones.
And so he's got like one leg in, the other leg lifted, about to go in, when all of a sudden there's light explosion, and Thurston is on the ground on his back.
Oh no.
Aww.
And yes, upon getting over the shock of, falling on his ass, and realizing that, I don't think his mind would immediately go to we're in danger because he's not accustomed to that yet. It's mostly like, what the heck? Why would that noise even be occurring? Like, just why?
Why did you do this?
And once he hears something about breakfast, he realizes, oh, okay, right. My new friend likes to put on a show. Okay. And then just like takes a deep breath and continues to get dressed in his, nice trousers and button up and jacket and little ascot and
Nice.
everything.
Brush the hair, of course.
Oh, the hair is styled. He's going to probably take some time to, trim the beard and brush that down as well. So he's probably going to be downstairs last.
Does he have a beard?
He's got like a little like goatee. Yeah.
He's got a little. He's
Is
got a
it
little
like
one
peach
growing in.
fuzz?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Well, you guys all make your way down the stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. Don't ask me why I was counting. And
The number of enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the shadows that are in the common room.
I was actually doing a thing on Roll20. Boom.
My computer background.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Where you can smell what you can smell bacon being cooked. You can hear some movement coming from the kitchen behind the bar, and Gilmore sits at the table and goes, "Ha, friends, welcome back. Hope you slept well, darlings." He takes a drink out of his fantastic mimosa.
Marvelous mimosa? Everything has to be an alliteration.
It's another one of my little enchantments. It's a never-ending glass of mimosa.
Dear God. Rhodes wants that so much.
I want that. Now, as Marin makes breakfast, I'm curious to know how your venture last night went. Any oddities? Any information on what was going on outside Whitestone?
We stare at Dermot.
You're muted, Dustin.
God, why guys gotta tell him?
I
that
would
can-
not
is-
have stopped either.
Is that gonna be part of our
I know.
Is that gonna be part of our drinking games? Is that when we get Cujo to do the Decisions and Dragons flail, or when we have to tell somebody that they're muted? Are
Take
those
a
our
drink.
things? Yeah, you have to
So
take
you
a
have
drink.
chosen death.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cujo, what game are we playing?
I already did it twice. Matt doesn't
Oh,
announce that it's Critical Role twice.
I mean, he could. You don't know.
He might. We don't know.
Yeah. Dermot sits down across from Gilmore and says, "Well, let me tell you a story." So
Gilmore
We-
just kind of relaxes in its chair and says, like, I feel like I'm gonna be here a while, but regale me.
So we left. We explored the road, like you said. Did you also know that there are tomatoes that have gone missing? One of the guards was talking about his tomato branches that had also gone missing. Unfortunately, we haven't found any of those, not yet anyway. But we did find signs of some trouble, and were led back into the forest where there was an old ancient graveyard that was being haunted by a number of shadows. Nasty creatures. I do not recommend them.
Oh, I don't either. I'm very glad that you guys got out of there safely. I assume that the
If
shadows-
only just. Fortunately for us, the shadows were dealt with. I don't believe they will be a problem any longer for you or anyone else in the town.
Fantastic. The Ben Mezd will be pleased to hear. Did you, by chance, locate Ophelia? The Ben Mezd had informed me that there was one of their number that had been captured, and I
I
Is she
believe
a
She a
tiefling?
tiefling?
yes, she is tiefling.
we did. And I look at Tina. I think you had that scrap of cloth.
Yeah. Ugh. Well,
I
I
I take the amulet out of my pocket that was clutched in her hand,
you have that's right.
and I put it on the table, and I say, "We found her, but
Yeah.
she is not going to be coming back to them." And
She was
this was clutched in her hand. She looked like she had been dead
withered,
for ages.
desiccated.
She was withered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looked like she had been dead for decades, centuries even when we found her.
Shadows
Um,
do have a tendency of sapping the
Yeah.
mortality of those susceptible. That's unfortunate.
And then I'll pull out the a piece of fabric with the eye on it and place that on the table as well and say that we did find this as well as the amulet on her. I don't know. I know it's signifies the Shade Watch. I don't know why she might have been carrying it. I don't really know what that means, but unfortunately, I think we were too late to find her before.
Well, what's interesting is that this is torn. He's examining the piece of fabric with the symbol. This is typically the Shade Watch wear it as sort of a lapel. This was very clearly torn off of, I'm going to assume, a Shade Watch's gear, their jacket. It's interesting. Definitely something to be looked into. Now,
We don't see
these-
them out here typically, do we? I mean, they're not.
no, I mean,
this
they're
is
hundreds of
out
miles away.
Yeah, I mean, their range is far, far from here.
It strikes me as mysterious for sure, and it's definitely something that should be pursued. Dermot,
Yes.
you had mentioned that the shadows will not be bothering anymore. Was there some sort of disturbance? Was there something that might have caused them to?
The only thing that we had found was on a number of the gravestones at this cemetery. There were 6 of them.
gravestones.
All had a particular rune carved into them. But we were able to sufficiently deface the runes so that the magic dissipated. And I believe we did take I suggested that we took an etching, not an etching, but
we took it down before scraping it away. Something to do with necromancy, but I'm not entirely sure.
May I see this?
And I'll kind of pull out my book, flip through. Nope.
Flip through.
Yeah.
No, it's in the other encyclopedia. Hold on.
Necromancy. Nope, that's one of mine. That's another one of mine.
Dead.
Nope, A through M. I gotta go get the other volume. Hold on.
Sorry, it's in my other encyclopedia of necromancy. No, flip it open and turn it around and slide it across the table, which it'll have sort of a copying of the ruin and notes, but incomplete, since her knowledge of this type of magic is she has basic knowledge, but nothing really beyond your very early level type stuff. And her area of focus really isn't necromancy anyway, so she's only encountered your really base level root type stuff.
Gilmore looks at the page, and his eyes kind of narrow, almost as if he's confused. This is how you saw the rune? Well, I mean, you're right in that it's necromantic, but there's a glaring issue here. And he looks around for a napkin and just shrugs, waves his hand, and pulls a napkin out of his sleeve, and then a quill appears in his hand. And he marks down the very
at the same time as Gilmore produces the pen, Dermot also casts prestidigitation and produces a pen.
I'll take Dermot's pen.
He
Thank you, Dermot.
He marks down on this small piece of paper the same rune, with one glaring difference. He holds the two next to each other, and you can see that his rune is facing one direction, while the one that you found is flipped.
Mm-hmm.
Unless this person was inscribed. Where was this inscribed on these headstones?
At the base, at the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
What strikes me as odd is that this, let's assume, that somebody did conjure these things. Somebody would literally have to be standing on their head to carve it in this way, and that doesn't make sense to me. Let me look into that a little bit. That just strikes me as a little odd. Side note.
Could you flip the headstones?
I mean, did they look disturbed at all?
I don't remember them looking disturbed. They looked ancient.
They looked ancient, yeah. I mean, the whole area looked ancient.
Everybody make me a history check.
What? We were thinking about half a century, half a millennia. Ooh, history.
18.
Am I able to, while we're all talking,
21.
I'd like to, on Gilmore's piece of paper, I'd also
17.
like to start sketching like a crude map of like, this is where we found this graveyard.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I should have mapped it. I should have marked it down. The different
Um,
ones that had the ruins.
that is a 6 for history for me.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll like survival to draw this map?
Yeah, roll a survival for marking it on the map.
Okay. That was even worse.
Good. I mean,
Ah.
5. Good.
So you go straight for a while, and then you hang a right. And then
I think it might have been a left. Was it a right?
right. Left.
It was easier last
You're
time, but I
right.
just felt
No, you're right. My left.
right.
The point is, it was at an ancient graveyard outside of Whitestone, approximately 3 hours from here.
With your history checks collectively, you don't recall seeing that the headstones themselves had been moved or flipped or messed with other than this rune being carved into the base.
Did the carving? Oh, and this is probably going to be very difficult to remember. Did if the carving looked like it was newer than the other markings in the headstone?
With your history check, it absolutely was.
It was so it was definitely a more recent addition. This isn't something that could have been sitting there for a while.
Right. Yeah. When you guys were inspecting those runes, you could tell that they may have been marked within a week. There was not a whole lot of degradation of the rune itself. Not a whole lot of time had passed. There was no erosion or anything like that.
Cujo, would Faraday know how a shadow is created?
Make me a religion check. And pardon me while I'm eating. I hadn't had the opportunity to do so, so don't judge me.
Do I get to make that with advantage? Because of my super knowledge of things?
I will say, yeah, go ahead and make that an advantage.
The image of a shadow is itself a shadow.
13.
Oh God.
God.
Wouldn't that be terrifying?
What'd you get?
13.
13. So, shadows that you know of are souls that had. It's not like a ghost where there's clear unfinished business or there's some sort of tie to the material plane. Shadows are souls that have passed on that had a evil history about them, that they are conjured. If a particular soul is strong enough, then they can sort of spawn on their own and hold on to their attachment to this plane and continue to haunt and whatnot as it will. But given the pieces here with the headstones, with the rune, with exactly how you found them, with them almost specifically placed there to harry anybody coming into town, you can definitely tell that this was a summoned thing.
So the idea is that Shade Watch or whomever put those runes there, the shadows that we were fighting were of the entity, the spirits of whoever was in that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, okay. I relay that information to kind of the group of, whoever conjured these. They didn't bring them with. They brought them out from. So I don't know if that helps, but
Well, they would have to be here recently then. Whoever it is or was.
Do I know how long that would have taken? Like, how long is that ritual?
Or like how long?
No, probably not.
Not offhand.
Okay.
You're not quite sure.
And once they're conjured, they're just conjured until those runes are either they're destroyed or the runes are destroyed theoretically or anything like that.
Really, it's one or the other.
Right.
With the 13, you'll know that like you guys didn't necessarily have to deface the runes, but it was good assurance.
Sure. that they wouldn't do it.
It felt better once we did.
No.
Yeah, it could have easily been someone who, for some reason, wanted to stop Ben Mez. Although I don't know why you would want to stop a circus.
Yeah, they're just going around spreading joy and happiness and good times. Why would
Good
anyone
stories.
want to disturb that? I don't understand.
I don't either. But if this is the one clear clue is that there is possibly somebody of the Shade Watch here, then that is something that should be explored. With that in mind, and I deeply apologize, the god that be totally forgot about the arrangement of what was going to be paid to you all for this adventure.
Oh, we
Oh,
wouldn't have
Thurston
let you.
hadn't forgotten.
Well,
Yeah, we wouldn't have let you forget.
Thurston was like, "You guys talk about this. We have negotiations to do after."
Okay, while you guys are negotiating, I'm gonna let the rest.
All right. Gilmore will gesture to the other chair at the table opposite him for Thurston.
So he's going to sit down to say, "Well, I am, familiar, at least in story, with the wonders of your wares, and I do believe that if we are going to continue down this path, we will need perhaps better equipment and assurances to ensure we can safely travel. As Dermot explained, we did suffer greatly even in that small encounter."
Yes, I can see the color just now starting to kind of come back to your friend's face. All right.
It was not fun. 0 out of 10 would not recommend.
Well, I do see this current predicament, and I would very much like to sponsor your little group if you would so choose to continue this path. Mainly because my other group, they've been through tough times, and they need time to enjoy life. And I don't want to burden them with any additional stresses that they've already been through. So if it means that you all would potentially track down the source of this impending darkness, then I would be happy to sponsor you. What specifically would you be looking for?
And Dermot does that and shakes his head like, we're not taking his road.
I don't want his. I just want one like him.
It just
I will
turns
mark
back.
that on the list. What
How
else?
do you not want one? It's fantastic.
Yes, it's fantastic, but you have to build up to that sort of thing in negotiations.
taking notes literally. How to negotiate.
And
Mind you,
turning
up
back
to this
to
point, she's been swindled probably every time.
oh
she's bought
Lord.
something.
So
Oh,
wait,
Lord.
hold on. So like Cadriel's like off to the side kind of watching. Faraday's like kind of off to the side watching. And Thurston is literally flanked by Dermot saying that he wants the glamored robe and Arathea who's like, how does this work?
Who's taking down like word
I
for
know.
word this entire negotiation. Okay, this is how we successfully do this. This is how we don't end up overpaying for things. Because on the one hand, we recognize this is a problem that we've had. But on the other hand, we're not good at this.
We're not good at this.
We are
I must
bad
say, it's
at this.
interesting that she's putting this out there into the world as you're about to go into negotiation.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely horrendous. Like, nope. Please, go, Thurston. Work your magic.
Yes. Well, one, just to define sponsorship, what does that entail?
Well, as you know, Gilmore's Glorious Goods has now become an enterprise, and as such, in any major settlement, you will find one of my shops, populated by one of my assistants. With a sponsorship, you will get a permanent 10% discount on any of the items that you'll find therein.
10%?
Starting 10%. I'd say that that's rather generous.
I'd say that several of us
Honestly-
almost died out there, and you want to give us 10% discount.
I'm just saying that as a starting adventuring party as yourself, a 10% is very good considering that I am the only magic shop that does have multiple locations and multiple franchises.
Be that as it may, perhaps we'll have to review the discount given based upon the severity of the task at hand.
Make
Base
a persuasion check.
10%. Did I take that?
Welcome to
thank God
business,
I
Gilmore
did.
people.
It's all
Like
good.
stand behind. I just kind of stand behind Thurston with my arms crossed, just like looking at Gilmore.
Dice jail. That was a 7 because I rolled a 2. Actually, I don't know
Ouch.
where my dice went. I'll find it later.
Chucked it across the room.
Super jail. Never to be seen again.
Lost to the decking.
My apologies for any insult behind this. I merely am actually giving you somewhat of an upgraded starter's fee. You see, any other adventuring party looking for some sort of sponsorship, as their deeds would grow and as they continue to put out the good name of Gilmore's Glorious Goods as the outfitter of their party, they would typically start with 5% and then work their way up. I'm not saying that this is a permanent and only 10%, but merely as a entry level with a minor bonus, considering you've already taken care of a threat just outside the city.
I see. I suppose 10% will work for now. And as we said, starter, not
Oh.
permanent.
Of course.
As for payment for our already past due
Sure.
works, perhaps we should visit the shop and actually see what is available to us.
Sure. Well, if you would like to follow me this way, unless you would like to eat first. And as he says that, the
Yeah,
kitchen
food.
door swings open, and Marin steps out with this gigantic tray with a big plate of scrambled eggs, a big plate of bacon, sausage links, and she whipped up a beastly breakfast with like biscuits and gravy, like all that stuff all on one big like breakfast in bed tray. And she like struggles a little bit, brings it to the bar top.
Dermot will jump up and help Marin with carrying plates and things.
Thank you. She gets some of her frizzled hair out of her face. Help yourself. It's on the house. Just eat it all, please. I don't like leftovers. And she sort of slumps back into her chair behind the bar.
I don't think that will be a problem. And I will cast Prestidigitation on Marin just to clean her up a bit. Her hair is a bit frazzled.
You cast the spell, and she like examines herself and it's like, that was nice, but warn me next time. Just magic on me without it's like a consent thing.
Dermot.
Oh God, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's cool. You didn't know. I'm just kind of, for the future, just give me some sort of a, hey, I'm thinking about doing this to you. Is that cool? And not be like, well, maybe. And,
Well, I figured with Prestidigitation has it's visual and somatic. There's no verbal component. But I imagine she would blow the hair out of her face, and I would say, "Here, let me get that for you." And whoosh.
yeah, she'll still be like, thank you. Just let me know next time. And she kind of leans forward. When you have a dad that owns magic shops and is really good at that sort of thing, and it happens all the time, Kind of gets under the skin a little.
I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
I'm so sorry.
I said it's
What
fine.
can I do to make it up to you?
She shoves eggs into your open mouth as you're trying to talk.
I just look at Marin and say, understand that feeling.
It just gets old. Thanks for taking care of them, Father. Gilmore sort of raises his mimosa.
I start doling out plates to everyone, including Marin and Gilmore.
You guys have a nice, filling breakfast. It's the kind of breakfast that honestly you kind of expect after having like a rough hangover, but it's filling. It gets a good, nice, warm feeling in your stomach. As you guys all finish eating breakfast together, Marin does sort of stand up and say, "All right, well, I'm gonna work on cleaning everything up. Keep me posted, Father." And then she kind of gets the plates together and makes her way back into the kitchen. Well, shall we?
Is it still very quiet? Ish.
Make a perception check.
Eh, 19.
19. As you guys have been sitting and eating and relaxing, you do notice that it is still a little quiet. And you kind of glance out the window and you can actually see little kids like running from one of the houses, like, we have to hurry, we have to hurry, we have to hurry. And they're running further into the city. So it's clear that the reason for the quiet is that something's going on in the town itself.
Oh, I'll turn to Gilmore since I don't think any of my party would know. Is there something going on today? Something special?
Oh, the Ben Mesd are performing yet another one of their epics.
We saw them on our way in last night, but
yes,
they're quite a trip. We will have to make a point to catch that.
Yes.
We should go now. The shop will be here when they're done.
I would suppose that I would leave that to Lord Nollard on whether or not he would like to postpone negotiations.
And you see he looks very torn because he does really want to go to the circus.
I love him.
Hein, I suppose the shop will be there later.
I mean, we will have to speak to the Benmez anyway, I would think. About Ophelia?
Well, I won't be any shyster. I'm not a schemer, and I'm not going to leave town before paying you. If you wish to relax and enjoy yourself and go experience the Ben Mez, by all means, I will be in town relatively close by to this bar.
Then it's decided. We'll all go. And I grab Gilmore by the hand and cast fairy fire on all of us.
Gilmore retrieves his hand.
I just kind of look at myself.
What is the... Oh, damn it. I totally forgot to grab my dice.
The dex save.
It's a dex save. DC 13.
Okay. Hold on. Let me do... God, I'm so unprofessional. Give me a second. I gotta grab my dice.
You didn't have your dice?
Goodness.
Unbelievable.
Gosh, noob.
That's fine. When we started, was the whip part of the payment, or was the whip just a loan? Does anybody remember?
Shh, he's coming back. He's coming back.
It was a down payment.
The speakers are still on. All right. Gilmore.
I think the whip was a show of good faith.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled an 18 and a 19 on the die.
Oh, shit.
God.
So, like, you cast fairy fire, like, and this cloud of flowers and things coats any. I guess if anybody else wants to try and make the save,
Yeah, I cast it on all of us.
Faraday, let's
but
Faraday's
the
used to it.
moment
She
the
lets
moment
it hit
the
her.
puff happens, Gilmore just waves his hand, and as it's like some of the stuff is starting to settle towards him, it's like a breeze rolls by and it magically
Just doesn't
doesn't touch him at
stay.
all.
I look like I'm going to a rave.
Cadriel
Alright.
doesn't even bother. She just sighs.
Lets it land.
Yeah.
Does she turn to make sure that it's like evenly coating her?
It just is what it is.
Like getting a tan?
That's a dirty 20 for Thurston.
Hey.
His outfit is already perfect. It doesn't need
Mm.
anything else, but thank you for trying.
Dustin, what colors is Dermot's fairy fire?
At this moment, it is like spring colors, like lime green, yellow, that kind of stuff.
Seeing that and Corn. Does she stick with the Wintercrest theme or match the fairy fire?
Just
You could do like a
let it happen,
a late winter when the crocuses come through the snow.
Oh, true. Yes. So the color, she kind of looks, and this is a common thing with Dermot. Like, this is nothing new. Just like the fireworks. Nothing new. So she lets it land because it's just... And as it settles, her coloring will change to the kind of... It's still the winter with the blues, but there's pops of, like, floral colors to match.
Nice. The lantern are awesome.
Yeah.
So Faraday, is this like a thing? Is this a thing that we should be used to?
Yes. All the
And
time.
the wake up call. Is there anything else that you might want to warn us about?
With that, Dermot is going to start dancing down the street as he draws Fiona's bowstring.
Just be prepared that unless we are in a situation where we need to be stealthy, we will never not draw attention.
Oh. Yeah, I
Cujo.
could see that. I could see that.
24 performance to play Fiona.
Before we get to that, Gilmore will say, I appreciate the invite, but I actually do have some business to attend to. Come and find me at the shop or in here after you complete your venture, and we will happily continue negotiations. And he will rise from the table and says, go enjoy yourselves. I will be here. Don't worry. And he actually makes his way towards the kitchen. With your 24 performance, you guys are like, okay, you know when you you go to Disney World and you can clearly see like a family of like 4+, and like maybe a couple of the siblings are older, but there's one that's like younger and super excited about everything.
That's
Dermot. So you guys are like kind of like strolling behind him as he is like twirling and spinning through the streets playing Fiona. And at first, people are a little off-put because like as you guys are moving through Whitestone, you guys are coming closer and closer to like this central courtyard area of the town itself where the sun tree is. And you can hear and smell like a little bit of maybe sulfur or something like that. And you can see the big, beautiful red carriage / cart that is parked right next to the sun tree. And you can see little bits of flame sort of dance through the air. And as Dermot is playing his music, people initially are a little off-put by turning and looking at him like, who the hell is this? Is Cirque du Soleil. Who the fuck is this dude?
Like as we approach like where the Ben Mesner actually performing, I will stop.
I will say,
because I'm not an asshole.
I will say, sorry, because you got such a high performance check, some of the crowd does part a little bit to let you all get a nice, good view of the Ben Mezd and their performance. Let me just switch up the ambient stuff. The Ben
The count
Mezd.
keeps throwing me off real bad.
Just heard it moo too.
Oh, and for those playing along at home, Fiona is Dermot's violin
Loves with
that I love with all of my heart.
Sometimes he calls
So-
Faraday Fiona.
You guys approach and can see why people are so enamored with the Ben Mezd. You see about 15 to 20 people, all dressed in these red and yellow costumes that are sort of tight-fitting. And you can see that there's a small group of drow who have painted their faces to look almost like undead monsters, and the quality of this makeup almost lends you to believe that they're actually somehow shape-shifting themselves to depict a horrible, evil, undead creature, and they're performing this dance that just conjures this sort of awkward sort of apprehension and anxiety in you as you're watching them contort themselves. And some of them are contortionists, and they're literally bending their bodies in odd shapes, and it's just odd to see. Behind them, you can see a small stage that is adorned with beautiful ribbons and silks of, red, gold, some purple, and just beautifully constructed. And on top of this stage, you can see this one tiefling is wearing this long, dark cloak that sort of has like a half hood, so that the horns sort of curl out and are adorned with these beautiful pieces of silver and jewelry, but then also with ornamentation that looks almost like rusted. And you can see that he also has this makeup of sunken features as his it's almost as if he's a puppet master, and he's sort of maneuvering this troop of drow in front of him, almost as if the story being told is that this creature, whoever it is in control of this horde before him. And immediately behind him, you can see 4 individuals with their backs turned, wearing similar dark robes, but their hoods are pulled over the front. So you could just see that their backs are facing you. And as this dance continues forward with this ethereal, sourceless music that sort of makes its way through the crowd, you can see that as this dance continues, these creatures, these humanoids, slowly make their way towards the front of the stage, slowly turning. And you can see what looks to be a dragonborn, very clearly with some sort of makeup to make his scales look white. And he has this, he reaches into his robe and then murmurs to himself, and a staff appears in his hand, and he appears to be gesticulating with it as though he's a spellcaster of some kind. Then it moves to the next humanoid, who turns, and it's another tiefling, but this tiefling is wearing this dark armor, this very beautifully constructed dark iron armor, and she has this pole arm weapon that she kind of twirls through the air as though she is the one to be right in people's faces. You can see a drow woman reveal herself as she's wearing this beautiful red dress that almost seems in contrast with everything around her, but she has this symbol in her hand that looks like a skull with a mouth wide open, as she is also gesticulating as though she is also manipulating this undead in front of her. And then lastly, you see what looks to be an elf with a shorn head. This elven woman looking a little bit swaggerly, and she's got a very large jug at her side as she periodically mimics like she's taking a drink, but then also does these acrobatic flips. And you hear this voice sort of make its way through the crowd as there is one masked figure wearing this beautifully made red and orange and golden robe with this mask that looks almost like a bearded humanoid with small horns coming out the forehead. And this voice says, and it was revealed that this great evil, having been unleashed on the world, was flanked by his own children and threatened to swallow the land in darkness. The tale continues, and you're seeing all these other crazy sort of extra performers seem to just come out of nowhere. It's almost like they're using behind the cart as it's almost like a backstage area where people can run back and change their outfits and everything. But this beautiful story tells you of a evil undead in a faraway land that once was felled by a high elven paladin, a human warlock with one arm, a druid from the far north, a wood elf barbarian, basically telling the story of these heroes that banded together to banish this evil from the world. And all was right from that point forward. This performance goes, and it goes, and it even though you can tell that a solid hour, maybe hour and a half has gone by, it's gripping and it's beautiful, and it sort of, I don't know, inspires all different kinds of emotions as you're watching this beautiful performance in front of you. And when the performance all ends, the music seems to lighten up a little bit, and people break out in applause as they are all thoroughly impressed with this this beautiful performance. And you can see that they all, remove their masks, and they all give a beautiful, graceful bow as they all, sort of kind of come out of their characters and whatnot, still looking very regal and very, I don't want to say pompous, but like very, they know who they are. They come out of these characters and begin sort of interacting with the younger audience, and they start, moving through the crowd. And there you have the Ben Mist. But the stage does lay before you. The large red cart lays before you, and you can see that the masked gentleman in the robe has not removed his accoutrement, if you will. What do you guys do?
Continue
really
to
cool.
applaud.
That druid guy seemed like he was pretty cool.
No way, man. A warlock with only one arm?
Seriously?
You can't get any cooler than that.
No, it was all about that high elf.
As you guys continue to applaud, some of the applause does die down a little bit as it's clear that they're now like interacting with the crowd, and some people are bringing, small gifts and even bringing money to just be like, please take it, this was amazing. The masked gentleman is making his way somewhat in your general direction as he is interacting with the other people, the other onlookers in your area, until he lays his eyes on you and gives a very deep bow to all of you.
Likewise.
Samesies.
Yep, same.
I do, but after a pause.
Like, oh, we're all. Oh,
Yeah, but yeah, the kind of like a like, oh, okay, I was not expecting this person to come and bow, but yep, okay, we're doing that now. Except it's not a bow, it's a curtsy. 'Cause I am a lady, damn it.
He raises from the ground and says, I'm very thankful that you were able to join us for the performance.
I will step forward. Dermot O'Ferry, at your service. And these are my friends. I believe
Fiona
we
and some other people.
Fiona, among others.
This is my Fiona, and these are some other people that hang around.
These are a couple of mouth breathers that hang out with me.
Whatever, you guys are just jealous.
Not all of
No,
us.
it's not all of us.
Not everybody gets a Fiona.
It was wonderful to meet you all.
Aw.
And he does
Very
lift the
sure.
mask, and you can see a drow face. More ashen skin, but his hair is a beautiful sort of silver white. He says, my name is Aldariel. It is a pleasure to meet a fellow performer.
I'm sorry, what was his name?
Aldariel. Aldariel.
Rieo.
I will say, well, your performance was stunning, to say the least.
Thank you.
We had heard that your troupe experienced some difficulties yesterday. We actually have an update on that situation if you'd like to go somewhere looking around slightly more private.
Of course. Please come this way. And he gestures for you to follow as he approaches the large red cart. It's a hooded cart. It essentially looks like a medieval version of like a Winnebago, like a mobile home. But like obviously more grandiose and, beautiful and decorated and all that. But
It's like a Winnebago with wings.
he opens the door and gestures for you all to enter. And as you enter, you are a little thrown off because this room seems bigger than what you thought it was going to be.
Fucking TARDIS.
Yes.
You guys essentially see sort of like the main floor of like the equivalent of like the Moulin Rouge from the movie, that crazy
From the
big
movie Moulin
ballroom.
Rouge.
Is there an elephant?
But it has, tables filled with all sorts of costumes and props, and you can see towards the back wall there is a gigantic wall that is devoted to books, all different kinds of story books and lore and history books and all these different things from all over the place, just all somehow categorically sorted. And there are some small bunks and whatnot that are set up in this room. And he moves towards a rather large dinner table and says, I apologize. You see, whenever we are performing, it's almost as if our focus is solely the performance itself. So I apologize for the mess. And he sort of moves some of the costumes off of the table. Please sit. Did you have any news of Ophelia?
I'm afraid we do. We had tracked a number of creatures to an area of the woods just outside the town, from where it looked like an attack had happened. We found your friend, but it appeared as though we were too late to aid her.
Yes.
We had we were able to recover this, and I turned to Court's character.
What's her name, Dustin?
I don't know.
You know, if you hover over the Twitch page on your browser, you can see on the left side a list of all the characters.
To be fair, just seeing the word doesn't mean you can pronounce it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pronounced like it's spelled. But I take the amulet out of my pocket.
Cad.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh,
I take the
Um,
amulet out of my pocket and I show it to him. This was clutched in her hand when we found her.
He holds it and kind of grips it a little bit in his hands, and you can tell he's deeply affected by this news. He steels himself after a couple moments and looks up at you all and says, I thank you for bringing me this news. I can only hope that her spirit has found a better place than this realm. I will deliver the news to the rest of the Ben Mezd this afternoon, and we will hold a rather special vigil for her tonight. It'll probably be a private affair, most likely in here, but I do appreciate the gesture.
I mean, pardon me if this is inappropriate, but can you tell us a little about her? I mean, who was she? What did she do?
She was one of our leads, actually. Her voice was enchanting and beautiful, and her form when she would dance was entrancing. She was always heralded as our own little private jewel among the Ben Mist, and she was more of a motherly figure at the same time. She's been traveling with us for close to 15 years, so her tenure among the Ben Mezd was truly admirable and respected, and she was always one to turn to if the travel and the roads would ever, I suppose, bog down some of the younger troop. So this is it's going to be a difficult time, but I know that we will continue moving forward.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
I thank you
I
for.
wish we could have done more.
Don't take it to heart. You did everything that you could, and I thank you so much for at least finding her so that we know what happened. I can only hope that the creatures are dealt with. I mean, is that also true? You found her, therefore you must have found the creatures, yes?
Did deal with
Wonderful.
They
That's
shouldn't
good
bother
news.
anyone else.
Well, again, I thank you so much for this gesture. Give me one moment. And he sort of shuffles off, and as he does, with his back turned, you can see he kind of moves up to his face and wipes away tears. But he does return with a Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something a little bit different. I need somebody to roll a d20 for me.
Cujo's going off book. We're all gonna die.
I know. All gonna die. All gonna get something
room
great.
filled with
Who
poison.
knows?
You all die.
Considering who this dude played in this little play of his.
Yeah.
Let's roll it.
Who was
I rolled a 10.
All right,
I rolled an 18.
just one.
All right. Who rolled the first one?
I don't know.
Court.
Sure.
It's fine.
And what was it?
10.
10. You see that he brings out this beautifully made. It looks like it's made of the finest satin, with bits of very well crafted leather. It has this red theme to kind of continue with the whole Ben Mezd red and gold theme. And it comes down. I don't know how to describe it, but you know when you have the trench coat and there's that split in the middle?
Mm.
Well, it comes into 3 splits right at the bottom, and each are lined with this beautiful golden filigree. He does present this to you and says that this was Ophelia's, and I feel that it should go to those who did away with her murderers, as a show of thanks. And he holds out this jacket in front of him.
I'll take it. Thank you. It will be well worn.
And if you ever hear of us, perhaps being in a town near you, we will treat you like family. You are all more than welcome to come and visit if we are ever nearby.
Can I ask where your next destination is?
Well, with Winter's Crest Festival ending soon, our plan was to maybe make our way to Vasselheim, assuming that the powers that be would be a little bit more accepting of our little troop, but it's really wherever the wind takes us. Maybe we'll catch a ship and go and see the Ashari. We don't really know. But right now, I do believe that our next destination is going to be Vasselheim.
Where were you before here?
Before here, let me consult the map. Totally had that answer ready to go. I'm just thinking to myself, man, that's a great question. Just thoroughly impressed with the inquisitiveness of this party.
Could you, while you're looking at the map, is Vasselheim to the east or west of Whitestone?
West.
Yes.
Pretty much everything is like to the west of Whitestone.
Wildmount is to the east, correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, continent-wise, though, everything is like west/south.
Yeah.
Whitestone's like way the heck up at the top. It is cold. It is very winter.
We had actually performed for some of the dwarven princes in Craghammer.
I haven't been there.
I must say, the Whitestone is a little bit more of a welcoming atmosphere, a little bit more colorful and fresh air and all that. There's a welcome change.
I will keep that in mind for when I make my way there.
Down to Dermot while they're talking, and whisper in his ear. Perhaps we should escort them out. Good for all of us. We're leaving, and if just for a little bit.
And Dermot doesn't say anything, but he looks up at you like, really? You made it?
If they're okay with that, perhaps as a little bit of protection, just until we part
with. Dermot will just like, yeah, that's a great idea, and speak up and say, well, we were actually on our way out of town in the near future as well. Perhaps if our paths line up, we could travel together, at least for a time. Safety in numbers. And I kind of look at Faraday like, right? That was the angle you were going for, safety in numbers.
That one.
You can see that his demeanor. Make a insight check.
I am actually not sucky at those.
I thought you were gonna say I am actually garbage at that.
Not garbage, he just doesn't suck.
It's average, you know? Average is
Okay.
fine.
Like a C student.
Especially when I roll a 19 on the die, so that's 23.
Fuck.
I want to know his blood type. I want to know his parents' name, social
next of kin.
security number.
It's Ashley Madison.
It's actually Madison.
You can
That'll get us
He-
banned.
that he ponders it for a moment and says, I don't believe that would be an entirely bad idea. I think that would be very good. We do plan on moving west, as we plan on catching a boat off of Taldore to head towards Vasselheim. But if you wish to accompany us some of the way, by all means, you are welcome to.
I just glance at the rest of the group and say, then we will enjoy the rest of the festival, and upon its conclusion, we will escort you out.
He gives a very formal bow in response. But
Secretly
if there's
very excited about this. Like little child being like, yes. It's gonna be
as he opens his mouth to speak, you can actually see that the door to the cart opens, and you can see some of the Ben Mezd are starting to make their way inside, kind of looking between your group and Althariel. Is that what I said? Aldariel. And they kind of have this sort of inquisitive look, and he turns to you and says, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to impart the news to my family.
Get out of
Of course.
And before leaving, Dermot will just give a deep bow and a flourish.
You could see he's smiling, almost as if he's trying to hold on to that moment before he has to have that really hard talk.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys make your way out and find yourself back on the streets of Whitestone. You do see a couple other Ben Mezd make their way inside before you realize that all of the Ben Mezd are inside their cart, and the stage is open to you. The crowd is mostly started to disperse at this point, and the city of Whitestone is open to you.
Well,
I don't know about the rest of you, but if we're going towards Vasselheim, I need some warmer clothing.
I'm okay on clothing, but there's certainly some supplies that I could.
Gilmore does owe us.
Oh, right. We were supposed to talk to Gilmore.
Yes, we were going to talk to Gilmore and
Shopping.
yes, let Thurston also finish negotiating.
Cut to Gilmore with a gigantic suitcase making his way out of town.
We get there and the shop is literally gone.
He folds it up in the suitcase.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
say.
summer. It's like it's winter.
Well, I do have thieves' tools. We can easily get in.
I don't think your
I
thieves'
don't-
tools are gonna open his lock.
I don't think at third level we can get past that door.
Something tells
He's got
me.
stores all over the place. We just gotta go to a different town.
But yeah, we should.
What?
go
But yeah, we should
talk to-
probably finish that negotiation. Also inform him that we're going to perhaps be traveling with them.
Indeed.
Just gonna ask if there were, like, where we are right now. We're kind of in, like, Are we like in like the town square kind of?
Yes, you guys are in the town square, actually not too far, maybe about 30 or 40 so feet from the sun tree, which is the gigantic, beautiful object of nature that just it's enchanting to look at. You like that description? That
Yes.
was the best. I mean, I can't just say it's a big tree.
I mean, it.
It's a real big tree with a super chill surfer attitude.
It's very laid back tree.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know. You
Very
haven't talked to it yet.
Are there any like little like kiosk shops, any like little attractions in the area? Like that keep the people here as opposed to just like dispersing completely?
Make a perception check.
Also want to look for this. Also to see if any of these little kiosks might have things that we can purchase before leaving.
Okay.
Even standing on top of the stage, I am too short to see it.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 2, which makes 6.
Good. Arathea?
I rolled a 20 because I am taller.
Dermot, you kind of do one of these. I got nothing, guys. Just as Arathea looks
Literally,
over, does it like she just does one of these. She can see that there are about 10 or 15 different small little kiosks, selling everything from baked goods to pottery to fine fabrics to all sorts of things. It's like a little mini galleria right next to the sun tree.
Okay. I will turn to my compatriots, primarily Cal and Thurston, and say, the whole negotiation, making deals isn't really my thing. I think I'm actually just going to stay here, if that's okay. Is that something you two would want to kind of handle?
I mean, does Faraday know what you might want from the shop?
Dermot, he might have something. You were very interested in that robot. Might have something else.
He might have. Okay, I suppose we can come back. I'm sorry, Fiona. We'll have to wait.
Fiona speaks to you in your mind and goes, whatever, bitch.
God, I hope that thing doesn't start talking to him.
Oh, that'd be so great.
Almost as if, I don't know, if enough love gets put into an object from a creature from the Fae, who the fuck knows? So you guys are heading back towards Gilmore's?
I think
yes,
so.
I suppose.
Okay.
We can come back and shop later. We'll need to.
Arathea, if you want to shop, you take one of us with you to make sure you get a good price.
I will.
You say this as you're passing by a kiosk that literally has like a rough chalkboard sign hanging diagonally off of the front that just says tattoos. You see a kick-ass looking half-orc in there with like crazy gauges in the ears and a big, huge, crazy beard. His name is Dale, and it's Dustin's brother.
And whatever you do, we don't get tattoos from carts with chalkboards.
Where do we get them from?
A reputable shop with the proper permitting.
Permitting? It's not fun at all. Where's your sense of adventure?
Yes, I'm interested in your wares as a tattoo artist. Please show me your permits to be here first, though.
I'd like to see that your certificate from the health department.
Yeah.
Mhm,
I'd
mhm.
also like your last 3 tax returns.
Yes. And do you have any gloves and masks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very important.
And please show me
Oh.
your autoclaves.
Oh, I love
As we walk, I
Not
do
yet.
continue to play.
Okay.
And I play us some jaunty walking music.
Okay, you guys make your way back towards the shop, hearing essentially the 70s blaxploitation theme in the background. It's weird. It's a violin, but it sounds like a funky bass.
It's got a nice little bounce though.
Magic is weird, man.
You kind of feel like you could be wearing bell bottoms and also be a detective or something. I don't know.
I didn't roll that well. It's only a 15.
Okay, so you're you're walking to the theme of Black Dynamite. Fantastic movie. I could only watch it once because those like the cringe factor. I can't.
Mhm.
That hurts
Mhm.
me. It was great though. Anyway, you guys make your way back to the house where you had previously done business with Gilmore. The nondescript house doesn't look to have any lights on. The door is closed before you. You can peek through the windows, and the windows have this frost through them, so it's difficult to see through.
Maybe
Didn't he
not.
say he would be near the bar somewhere?
He said either here or back at the tavern.
shop.
He said he
Or
had
a
some
shop?
business to attend to.
Yeah, he could be at the actual shop.
I thought this was the actual shop.
This is a nondescript house. Are we in like a residential area?
This is the house that is sort of attached to the bar
Oh, okay.
that you guys had spoken with Gilmore in previously.
Right.
So I bet this is Marin's house, maybe? I mean, she doesn't sleep in the kitchen.
You don't know her life.
Have you
She
been in the
might-
kitchen? There could be a bed in there.
There could
Actually,
be.
having a bed in the kitchen would be fantastic. Never too far from breakfast.
I think the smells, though. It would get on your nerves after a while.
I watched Dustin RP in that moment, and I just saw through his facial expression that him role playing as Dermot is just one stream of conscious thought just going.
It is the true epitome of letting his 80s.
Oh,
Yep. Bards are great, man.
So what do you guys do?
Maybe we should go to the shop.
Well, we're right here. We could check and see if he's at the tavern.
We could pop our heads in.
Sure.
You guys make your way over to the tavern, and you can see now the doors have been opened. There are some patrons inside. Marin is currently running back and forth along the bar to make sure people's orders get taken care of. Her head moves to Jesus, sorry. Chicken fingers are killing me. She looks up and sees all of you enter and says, "Oh, thank God. Okay, cool. Hey, welcome back. Did Dad talk to you yet?" And she's like pouring an ale from the keg behind her.
Not yet. We went to go see the show first.
Oh, gotcha. How was it? Was it good? As she's now
It was
like
fantastic.
squeezing a lemon into a drink.
Wonderful.
She's just wringing a dirty dish rag into a drink.
That's when she doesn't have coffee.
Yeah.
Like autopilot. Okay, well, I think he should be right next door. You can go inside. It's fine. And she says that as she's like, what's another fucking drink? Oh, she's shaking a mixer.
It looked. The windows look dark.
Oh, it does that. It's fine. It's just an enchantment. She then undoes the mixer and pours like 5 drinks, and you can see that as it comes out in a rainbow.
Oh, look at her.
That's dope.
Yeah, I mean they ordered it, and you can see a group of what could be adventurers, all of different races with different what's the term I'm looking for?
Is at all.
I would say different
Comically
attitudes
so.
that are all at one table having the fucking time of their lives. And you can actually see one of them is this elven person who is dressed in this very tight-fitting like bodysuit, looking fucking kick ass and wearing these long high heels that like you don't need to make a perception check to know if that elf steps on your foot is done. Like these things are sharp as fuck, but they are sitting with their legs crossed as fabulously as possible as they're enjoying a glass of wine. Says, yeah, they ordered all these, so gotta supply the clientele. And she brings all of these over to the table.
What is that called?
It's called the Pride.
I will have to order one when we return. That looks delicious.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite drinks. So,
I'm gonna turn.
But
I
she-
turned to Cadriel and Thurston and kind of whisper, "Do you think I could wear those boots?"
I mean,
Does Dermot hear you?
I don't know. Does Dermot hear me?
Dermot, make a perception check. Cadriel, go ahead.
you know, you just might not want to. They're not the most practical for fighting in, and if you have to get out of the way very quickly, you're likely to twist an ankle.
Yeah,
That is
but
a
you would look
that is a
great
dirty
doing it.
10.
Dirty 10.
Dirty 10.
You're too enamored with
the drink.
the sight of a dwarf with a mohawk that is dyed all different kinds of colors.
Nice.
And just it's like spiked and segmented. It just looks really, really cool. But as you guys are still standing in the doorway, the elf looks in all of your direction and lays their eyes on Thurston and gives one of these and takes a very long sip of their wine.
He just like gets super red.
Thurston, my friend, you made them very thirsty. And I think we have some business to attend to with Gilmore.
Hashtag thirsty Thurston.
Jesus Christ.
Let's make it happen,
Thurston for
Cal.
Thurston.
Let's not make that happen. Okay, we can make it happen.
It's already happened.
Good. Sure, it's already being worked on.
Oh, good.
Too late.
Yeah, then let's make our way back next door.
You guys all make your way back next door, and similar situation. You see the frost over covering the windows.
I will just grab the knob and try to open it carefully.
You open it, and it leads to a room that you guys are not familiar with. It is dark. It's a little cold because the fireplace hasn't been lit. And you then hear, as you're kind of glancing in, you hear behind you, wait, hold on. Sorry. And Gilmore approaches, coming from some other spot in town and says, oh, sorry, 1 second. And he, may I, and sort of steps in front of you and closes the door.
Like closes us out.
No, he like closes the door so that you guys are all outside with him. And then he just goes, okay. And then he opens the door again, and similar to before, it opens to this beautifully decorated golden and purple satin covered floors and just this beautiful ostentatious room. Sorry, the enchantment needs a while to reset. Please come in.
Thank you.
You can see that the room has been slightly rearranged, where you can see that there is a large table that is placed in the center of the room with a bunch of these cushy little chairs that sort of ring around this table, with one chair that looks gaudy as all hell that he sits in and then puts his legs up over one of the chair arms and then does one of these. So, may we begin our negotiations once again?
We may.
I take a seat at the table.
Yeah, Thurston will follow and sit down and say, well, we've spoken with the Ben Mezd as we had suggested this morning, and we will also be accompanying them out of town, chauffeuring them out, so to speak,
Wonderful.
to ensure their safety.
Wonderful.
But of course, that means we have to make sure we can keep them safe.
Now there's the hook.
So yes, I know you did give our friend a wonderful whip that certainly proved your skill as a craftsman and magician. Might we take a look at what else is currently available?
Well, I did do a little bit of shopping for you, just to bring out some items that I thought would work for you.
You should always have a product proposal, of course.
Of course. He reaches into his robes, which have now the glamour has gone off, so now it's just the fluffy bathrobe and the furry slippers. He reaches into the inner pocket and pulls out a scroll. He places it, and as he unravels it, you can see items start to materialize on this long piece of parchment. You find a very well-crafted silver wand that below it says Wand of Smiles.
Oh God.
Next to it, you see a wooden wand that says Wand of Healing. Next to that materializes a small set of armor. It looks to be of constructed in some kind of leather with some sort of silver filigree on it. And next to that, you find a set of these strange-looking goggles that have arcane runes inscribed all along the outside of the lenses themselves. This is just to start out. Obviously, I wanted to speak with you on what else, if anything, you would be interested in picking up. But I figure on the table, these are automatically yours to start out. After our little conversation earlier, it occurred to me I should also include some sort of reward for your services. So, in addition to, right now, a base discount of 10%, these items are yours to take as well.
Can
Wonderful.
I tell what those runes are on the goggles?
Make me an Arcana check. The identifying specifically what like a set of enchantments or runes does, that's going to be like detect magic. But you can still kind of glance at a rune and be able to tell kind of what it's supposed to do.
Was I think because the other items had notes. Did the goggles have notes on as to what they are?
Well, as you look, you see the label says goggles of seeing.
Well, I mean, that does make sense.
The Wand of Smiles. I'll just give you the rules and stuff on it now. 3 times per day. You can aim this at a creature that has a mouth. It has to make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw.
God.
Or, and if it succeeds, nothing happens. If it fails, its face contorts into the shape of a smile for 1 full hour.
What's the best part about that item?
That it could make grumpy people smile for an hour.
What happens if you use the last charge?
Gilmore says, I haven't quite figured that part out yet. Nobody really seems to be into that one. Although I do know that might actually be one of my earlier prototypes. So if it does run out of charges, there might be a chance that everybody within, say, 30 feet or so would have to make the same resistance check or else be affected by similar effects, but everybody at once. I can replace that with a newer model if you'd prefer.
Nope.
Wonderful.
Oh, God.
Agent of Chaos.
It's great.
Agent of Happiness.
Chaos.
The Wand of Healing has 5 charges. It essentially has the effects of a base level healing word, where it heals for 1d4. And it's got 5 charges to heal for a d4 each time. The range is, I think, healing word is 30?
60?
60?
60?
Let's
60
say
feet.
its range is only 30 feet for the wand. The armor, as you examine it, is a rather nice set of a hunter's set of armor. This armor mechanically will count as a +1, and also grant advantage on survival checks. I was gonna say also nature, but I was like, I'll just stick with one spell or one skill. And then the goggles of seeing, give a bonus of dark vision out to 60 feet, and then once per day for, let's say, 3 rounds, so of 18 seconds, you can enable true sight. So for 3 rounds of combat, you can have true sight.
Ain't that fancy. Any class restrictions on these?
What's the rating on the
Can't wear leather.
Yeah, it's really based on what your item proficiencies would be at that point.
Okay.
What's the
The
rating on the-
hunter's armor
Yeah.
is going to classify as medium armor.
But no, like, only used by a cleric. Blah,
No.
blah, blah. Okay.
No, these are
That would
and
be
it
all of
was-
them. Only
the one
clerics.
with smiles can only be used by a barbarian. FY. I'm just kidding.
A barbarian when Mars is in retrograde.
Yeah.
That's it.
Listen, this is not 3.5, thank you. Okay?
Jesus. Can we not talk about
Can only
3.5?
can only sit facing east.
Yeah.
Oh no. Guys, we can't fight today. Why? Scoop up ground or dirt off the ground.
Nope.
Do you see this?
You see this?
I can't do it.
The stars aren't aligned. Not aligned. Another day.
It was
Sorry.
just those 4 items.
Yes, those
For
4
now.
items.
Plus the whip,
Plus
Yeah.
the whip.
technically.
Okay.
All right.
Can anybody
I can
actually
see
wear
his
that
dumb
armor?
face.
Can you?
I don't
Yeah.
think I can.
I can't wear it.
I
I can only
can.
wear light armor.
You can.
So get Faraday getting all decked out with her whip and some armor.
Fancy
Yeah,
armor.
I can't wear the armor.
Can no one in this party wear anything above like light armor aside from Faraday?
Yeah, the rest of you are spellcasters.
Yeah.
So what
It's a
you're
dirty
saying,
line to take that
Wait,
back.
Oh,
what's Thurston?
Oh yeah, you're a rogue.
is I need to make a tank character that you guys can travel with.
No,
No,
just
we're
kill
fine.
us.
If you want to just give us an actual tank,
Yeah.
that would work as well.
You know, that's more in my business associates department. I don't deal with the machines of mass destruction and whatnot. That's her department.
Thurston, project for you.
Hmm?
Build a tank.
I feel like that's.
I don't think I could do that, but I can ask my mom if we have any business investments that maybe we could try one out.
My mom.
That's right,
Mom, do we have any
No.
tanks? Do we have any defense
It's
contracts?
like on a paper, like,
Thanks. Sure. Whatever you say, honey.
Bob, he said he wants a tank.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What do you
Like
think
a-
about that, honey?
Maybe for winter's
Like a-
rest.
Like a fish tank? Yeah, he can have a fish tank.
Sounds like you should put that on your Christmas list.
Because the dog's about to start barking at me, and I know nobody wants to hear that. Faraday will whisper in their ear because whispering today. That if we need to give the whip to get something that all of us or someone else can use, she will. Knowing that not everything is. Not that she doesn't appreciate the whip. She very much appreciates the whip. But if it gives a little bit.
Who else doesn't have dark vision? Obviously, Thurston doesn't have dark vision because he's a lame-o human.
I have dark vision.
Dermot does not have dark vision.
Okay.
Of all the things that I'm pretty sure I don't have dark vision.
What's that? Features and traits? Is that what it's?
Yeah.
It's
features and
fire.
traits, and then racial.
My computer is not.
It also
with...
should say it on your senses.
On your senses.
On your senses.
Box. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Because the whole setup here, not digging D&D Beyond.
It's like that's just putting it over the edge. So no.
Yes, I have dark vision.
That's how my computer feels when we use VTT.
I know. Yes, I have dark vision. Whoever needs it.
I do not.
Whoever wants it, whoever needs it. Can...
Yeah, but if you want the one to smiles.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Wanda.
Like, I
smiles.
can...
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
I'm just picturing Dermot going up with a wand of smiles to something that has multiple mouths and making them all smile. And it's
God.
Would a creature with multiple mouths get multiple chances to save? Do you have to make a save for each mouth you have?
Considering it's one magical effect targeting the creature, it's that one creature's ability to resist that enchantment. So if it does have multiple mouths, a gibbering mouther will be smiling for an hour.
This is
kind of like my version better, where you make a save for each mouth.
We'd be here for an hour if I ever put you against a gibbering mouther.
Oh, I know. It'd be worth
Great.
it.
Glad we're all on the same page, asshole.
Yeah, the only thing that I would not make any use of is the armor.
Okay. Thurston will turn to Cadriel and say, is there anything in particular, even not on the current offering, that you would be happy to have?
I'm not really one for magic. I can see in the dark and I can't wear the armor. So I think these gifts would be better suited in the rest of your hands.
Nothing on your wish list?
I mean, I could always use a new short sword, some new armor, but...
You know, darling, if I may, there is one relatively new item that I did come across. I'm still researching its, enchantments. But I sort of feel like it could be right up your alley. Would you mind if I were to introduce you to this item, see if it maybe suits your fancy?
Of course.
He steps from his throne and goes over to a closet where he opens it up and sort of puts his whole arm inside and kind of does one of these. There we are. And pulls out a scythe. This scythe's pole is twisted wood, and it curves around to where the blade itself almost looks like it's in the shape of a bird head, and the beak sort of disappears into this long, icy blue blade. This is called the, so I've heard, is called the Frost Reaper. It is two-handed, but when you swing it just right, and he twirls the scythe through the air, and you can see that there are, by taking moisture out of the air, ice particles start to slowly form in the air around him, and then he thrusts the scythe forward, and the shards fire off forward and peg into the wall behind you guys.
Oh.
It might not quite be sneaky, but I'm just saying
nice.
it might be on the table.
Something you'd like in return for this?
Given that I'm still researching it, technically speaking, it's not mine to sell. But if you were to assist me with uncovering maybe any other uses this thing may have, I would say I could part with it for a certain amount. Assuming that you'd be able to report in with any new findings you may have on this thing.
What? Okay, DM question. What is a scythe classified as?
It is a martial heavy two-handed weapon.
I can use crossbow, hands, longsword, rapier, short sword, and simple weapons.
Okay. All right.
While that sounds cool, I don't think I could actually use it.
Not a problem. Let me see if I can find something else. And he places it back into the closet and reaches back in and reaches in a little bit more, and this time sticks his whole upper body into the closet, and comes out
Were closet jokes made while I was gone?
No,
I was trying to
yet.
be good. I was trying. But thank you, Sam.
You see a hand come from inside the closet go, I heard that. He retrieves a short sword. It has a black iron sort of consistency to the metal. Very, very well crafted blade. The handle looks like it's wrapped in red leather. And it comes to a diagonal point. Although it is double bladed, the main blade is sort of, obviously where the lead damage is going to be coming from. He holds this out to you. It says, well, I didn't quite come up with a name for this one, but any free-spirited creature, upon using this particular weapon, might find that it might land a little bit easier. Specifically, free-spirited. How do I put it? Any stuffy noble or captain of the guard or somebody who is very by a code might have a little bit of difficulty using this particular weapon. But if you are a believer in chaos and all sorts of its forms, then this might be the weapon for you. It is a uncommon short sword. It is a finesse weapon, and it is light.
Can I take it from him?
Sure.
Kind of spin it.
Yeah. You definitely can feel. What alignment are you?
Let me check.
That's a good question.
Chaotic neutral.
Okay. You definitely, like, looking at the blade, it looks like it's supposed to be a little hefty. But the moment you feel it, it feels almost like you're holding another dagger. And you're moving it through and testing the speed and the weight and how it's evenly distributed amongst the sword. And it's very well made and very light.
I wouldn't mind taking this off your hands.
It looks good on you.
I swing it towards one of his chairs and see if I can take a little off the top.
Make an attack roll.
Oh god. What? Well, I rolled an 18.
You said you rolled an 18?
Yep.
This will also give you a +1, so 19.
19.
That will hit. Go ahead and roll damage and add 1 extra d6 of slashing damage.
Okay. Is it just standard 1d6?
So standard is 1d6, but because you are chaotic, you can add another d6 of damage.
6 points of damage.
You carve through one of the ornamentation pieces on top of the chair, and you hear why would you do that? And you look, and there's a face that is materialized into the pillow of the chair. And Gilmore goes, "Oh my god! Fetch the thing! Get the piece! Get the piece! It's fine, honey." And you just hear.
What did you do?
I immediately grab the piece of the chair.
Give it. He places it and then grabs the wand of healing and then uses a charge, and then it forms back together. And then the face
What?
disappears into the cushion.
I turned to Cal and I'm like, "What did you do?"
It's fine. It's fine. She's just over dramatic sometimes.
Wait a second. You have sentient furniture?
Doesn't everyone?
No.
Did you make other things sentient?
I mean, this was a rare find. I mean, it's not like I'm going around, hey, would you like to be a tea kettle, or would you like to be a door? No, these are spirits that I have befriended that wish to remain with me, and I've found a place for them in my realm.
See.
It just so
And-
happened that this one preferred to be a chair.
You say that, and like this whole time, Thurston's been looking between like chair, Gilmore, Fiona, chair, Gilmore. Like, can you?
I'm gonna roll a perception to see if I notice that.
Go for it.
Well, I mean, the dead assist me with their proficiencies as well, but none of them ever choose to stay a chair.
21.
21, you definitely catch Thurston being like looking back and forth, but really keeping an eye on Fiona.
I also start looking at Gilmore, chair, Fiona. Gilmore, chair, Fiona.
Well,
And Thurston, you start to see the gears start turning.
Gilmore says, "This sword I will pose as one of my offers of payment in addition to the other items that you have on the table."
I will take it then. And I suppose that if it does anything interesting, you'd like to know about it.
Of course, yes.
All right.
Wonderful.
You're sure you don't happen to have a second bathrobe?
All right, here's the thing with the bathrobe situation. Okay. The enchantment takes a solid week of work. And I would say, given the materials, would amount to... Well, okay, here's the question. What is Dermot wearing armor?
Dermot wears leather armor, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, leather armor.
Is your goal to keep the armor and have it look like something else, or are you literally trying to just copy my wardrobe?
Yes.
You look fantastic, and I love it, and I want one.
All right.
You make it look like anything.
It's true. I mean, it is glamored. I would say, if you wanted a suit of armor that you could make look like anything, let's say a suit of leather armor, I will say 750 gold pieces.
Not paying for that.
How much money do we have?
Not that.
Not that much. Dermot,
What if
start saving your shinies instead of giving them away.
what if I played every night in Marin's Tavern free of charge until the end of the festival?
Well, considering that the festival is only going for 2 more nights, that will probably amount to you netting, let's just call it 30 gold. And that would mean that you would still owe 720 for me to begin the enchantment. I apologize, but crafting items is a bit of a pricey venture, and in order to make sure I have the right materials, I do need to make sure I have the right funds to support the cost and the labor and all of that. I'm actually cutting out the labor. And the truth be told, if I were including labor, it would be close to 1,500. But we're not going near that route. Because I like you, I'm cutting it down to 750.
Dermot, do you have anything invested in any like stock mutual funds? Or I mean, it wouldn't take that long to.
I mean, you could process a loan out of your 401k if you really needed, but that's sort of for your retirement. And
I don't know what any of
No.
those things are.
No, we don't take loans out of our 401k. That's just asking for trouble.
I'm just saying it's an option.
Now throw a robe.
I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying it's there.
Gilmore, you said you have shops all over.
In any major city, yes.
Do you travel specifically in them as well?
Lately, not as much, but if one of my associates does make it known that my presence is needed, there is a communication method. So I can appear in said shop, and then we can talk business at that point. So it's not like you have to come back here if you need to make this deal.
She looks to Dermot. See, we can get some. We can't do this right now, but we can do it later. Get some more gold.
Save up your allowance.
Yeah, if you save up your allowance.
Speaking of which, you get 2 copper pieces.
Yeah. Oh no, Faraday knows very well not to hand Dermot money because it does not last very long.
So Faraday manages all the money of this partnership.
If the two of us, absolutely. If only because it won't get spent immediately.
Well, that's usually because Dermot doesn't find
any
any value in money. And that is a really, really nice outfit. Very well, then.
Now,
I will find your 750 gold pieces, and I will have a fancy outfit.
and when that day comes, I will craft it out of the finest materials. But, Mr. Nollard, are these satisfactory in terms of payment at this time?
And I'll look to the group, see if there's any dissatisfied faces, because I don't want to make all the decision.
I think you're the most qualified to make the decision.
Well, if I don't see any dissatisfied faces, I will say yes. I think this will do very nicely and make sure that our journey to continue learning about the situation and keeping the Benmez safe will certainly be a lot easier with your wares on our person. Much
Sounds
appreciated.
good. Oh, also, I did more research on this rune. I actually consulted with a friend of mine. What's confusing to me is that runic magic has a very specific set of rules that it has to go by. And if runes aren't constructed exactly the right way, the intended effect doesn't come to pass. It's just the ritual is incomplete. The runes themselves need to be crafted just right. Now, with everything you've told me about this graveyard and the headstones not showing any visible sign of disturbance or anything, piques my curiosity. Because it would mean that somebody either has their own means of crafting this specific magical effect, or there's some other runic language or arcane means that in my study hasn't been discovered. I would... Obviously, your journeys are your own, and I don't mean to push you in one direction or the next, but it worries me. I've been a bit of a worrier lately, and I don't want any other Thordax or Vecnas or great evils to threaten anybody else. And if this could possibly lead to one, I would implore you to seek out more information so that I may be of more use in preventing more calamities from occurring.
You said you've been a warrior of late. Has other things happened around town that this is just another one that's added to your worries?
He pauses. I can't quite say what, but I can tell you that recent events have opened my eyes, and I can't go into specifics right now, and I apologize. It's a matter of security. But just tread very carefully. If anybody wants to make an insight check.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nope.
16.
11.
15, 16, 11.
7.
7? Okay. Who got the 15 and 16?
16.
And I'm sorry, Arathea, what did you get?
Sorry. 12 with advantage.
Okay.
Shit.
With
Yeah.
a 15 and 16, you've seen Business Gilmore, and he's very composed. He's very professional. He knows how to, work up a deal. You've seen Doting Gilmore, and you see he's a little on the overbearing side, at least from the small moments you've seen him with Marin. This is odd. He's giving off these vibes that are uneasy, very anxious, and you can deduce that there is something that he wants to be able to confide in you with, but given his word choice and his body language, it's difficult for him to do so. I don't mean to suddenly add some sort of air of tension. It's been a rough few years. And I just want you all to be safe, if you do so choose to pursue this investigation. Well, is there anything else that I can provide before you continue on your journeys with the Benmezd? Sorry, I wish it would
Interesting
fade out.
books for the road.
I'm sorry?
Interesting books.
Hmm.
History.
Let
Anything.
me find one. He pulls out a drawer that's filled with a few different books. He pulls out 3 and places them on the table in front of you. One depicts a very muscled half-orc gentleman
God.
holding
It's called
a human woman in his arms with muscles bulging, and says he's looking in the general direction of the artist, you could assume. And it says Tusk Love at the bottom.
Fucking
This is
knew
one
it.
of my
Nope,
favorites.
I've read that one.
Oh.
It was quite good.
Well, all right then. Maybe I will hold on to my signed copy of Tusk Love.
Oh, Mr. Gilmore, you would have a signed copy of Tusk Love.
Have
I'm a
you read
fan.
it?
Oh, I have.
Cadriel?
My sister is a fan.
You really
She has
should.
good taste.
She has taste.
If you would like to know of the exploits of my close second family, and he holds out a gaudy tome that says The Adventures of Vox Machina by Tyrion Darrington. It's a little difficult to read at times with the self-congratulatory tone, but it's not a bad history lesson. And then the third one that I totally didn't think of. I don't know why I said 3.
Cujo, how I don't know if we addressed this at any point. How far removed are we from, in terms of timeline, from finale?
Good question.
I
Vox
think
Machina.
I said it was 5 years after finale of
Okay,
campaign
that
1.
changes some things.
So, yeah, Dermot and I have no idea what Gilmore's talking.
Really?
We've only been on the material plane for.
Got it.
So yeah, we have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Well,
we've
then.
been to Vasselheim, and as far as we know, the thing that's there. Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah,
The-
we've seen the thing.
Yeah, but as far as we know, it's always been there. That's just part of the
We've
city.
seen the fallout, but we weren't around.
Got it.
Yeah, no. Also,
Having spent time in Marquette, I'm assuming I would know at least a little bit about.
Yeah, you'll know.
Quite a
Word
bit.
of that traveled real quick. So yeah, Marquette definitely heard and spread the word, and everybody essentially treats it not quite common knowledge with like the fine details, but they know the gist of everything that happened in Vestal.
So okay,
Even roads.
I'll point to that book and I'll tell Arethea. I think you might enjoy that one.
I've heard vague rumors from a few years back, but not much really reached us. So I don't know how true anything was.
And Dermot kind of leans over to read the title again. And what is a Vox Machina?
Dogs barking?
Yeah, am I hearing dogs?
Yeah, you heard something. This is Icebound Town by Tabletop Audio.
I thought it
Icebound town.
Were you guys not distracted by the cow
I
earlier?
was
I
distracted.
kept hearing it.
I kept thinking the cow was my phone buzzing. I kept checking it.
That's what that was.
I was like, no. I was like, I'm not getting texts. It's like, what is that? Oh, it's a cow.
Sort of pack of dogs, and I'm like,
Snow dogs? I don't know.
Spencer's not that loud. Maybe he's outside.
I know he's sleeping.
The third book. Sorry. Gilmore pushes that book towards all of you and just says, "You're going to want to read this." There's much that's happened on this plane that I'm sure has not reached the Feywild. So it might be good to, as a small history lesson on some of the unfortunate calamities that we have encountered in recent years.
That's the second time that Gilmore has used the word calamity. Does that resonate at all with us?
Make a history check to Faraday
Not that
and
freaking
also
die.
Oh. Need to get
Sorry,
you a
that
dice.
die's been.
Need to get you a dice jail, Tina.
It's been doing me dirty tonight. It's been rolling bad.
13.
13.
Dirty 20.
Much better.
Filthy 20.
Filthy 20.
Don't need to go into more detail.
Oh my god.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. 21.
Just
Dirty 21.
gross 21.
Absolutely disgusting 21.
Raunchy.
Imagine like a D20 that looks like the M&Ms with like a face and arms and legs, but like doing a strip. So like this is what popped into my head, folks.
With some like
I was-
thigh highs on.
I was
Yep.
actually going a different direction. I was like, imagine a D20 that sweats.
Ew.
Oh.
Ew.
I like mine
Tina's
more.
like, nope.
Nope, not touching my dice anymore. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, I should wash my.
Digital
Tina
only.
can't roll today. You see the
Nope.
D&D
All right.
Calamity. So
Or maybe should I roll an insight to see if he's using that word purposely? Or
um,
deliberately?
Not purposely, but maybe kind of unintentionally you choosing that word because of whatever else is on his mind.
well, with a history check, with the collective rolls that you get, there's a lot of dirty 20s. That you guys do know of the calamity, which was the war amongst the gods and the betrayer gods and everything that shaped the mythology of Tal'Dorei and Exandria as a whole. Faraday and Dermot, you do remember hearing tale of a god that wanted to conquer the material plane that had been recently dealt with. That's like the most information that you have.
Sure.
With Tina, you also picked up on that information involving Vecna, and the events that happened in Vasselheim, but not like the fine-tuned details. But given his tone, given what small history you have on Tal'Dorei, this land has actually been through some shit. Not even just like during the course of the show. This continent has been through wars. It's been through monstrous, invasions like the Chroma Conclave. There's a lot of the of this continent that has been largely either sort of walled off due to the effects of maybe some lingering magical energies. There's some places that have just permanent scars. It's just he's more referring that this continent has seen a lot of shit.
That's fair. We did not have dragons.
Count yourselves lucky. Anyway, the third book is called Tower of Lies. And the Gilmore says, this is a delightful mystery novel. I actually thoroughly enjoy it. It's actually, speaking of some of the noble houses of Wildmount before the Dwendalian Empire really came into power. It's a fiction, but I will say it's quite a good read. The protagonist is very well written. I enjoy it. It's a great time spender to sink your teeth into.
That sounds really, really enticing, actually. There's always little tidbits in stories.
Of course.
Learn a little bit about my home continent. If you want both of them, I'll help you pay for it.
Oh. No, these are beautiful novels. I'm not going to charge you to read them. Just as long as they're back in one piece. One of them is a signed copy. Oh, wait, you're not taking Tusk Love, aren't you?
Well, does someone want... it's quite good.
I mean, if anybody feels the need to be titillated late at night with the written word.
He looks over at Faraday.
If you're lending out books, why
He
not?
hands the book over to you. You could see, just
Please
by
don't
flipping through the pages, this
with you
book is
there.
very well worn.
Oh God, they're not
Well,
sticky.
I was gonna say that. I hope they're not.
ask
Not like the pages
I
are
was gonna
sticking
ask
together.
So, like, prestidigitation, can that, like blacklight?
Ew. Oh.
I'm
Threw
just
up in my
saying.
mouth.
Like, how fine of control can you get on that?
Your fault. Your fault, Cujo.
Wow. The questions that people ask in a D&D game.
I mean,
Whew.
you instantly clean or soil an object no larger than 1 cubic foot. So I'm sure that it is fine.
It is spotless. I take care of my books. Thank you.
So, well, good news, Faraday. It's not going to crack in half if you drop it on the floor.
That's good.
Oh my god. Is there anything
how does
else I
Thurston
can
look right
provide to
now?
you?
No, I don't believe there is. Thurston says, just like this went off the rails.
It did.
Maybe don't tell your mom about this one, Thurston.
Dermot, I assume we're all leaving then. We all get up to leave.
Yeah, unless
Mhm.
else, probably like Gilmore.
I
Shop
hang
and-
back a little bit and I say, I'll catch up with you.
Okay.
Before Dermot leaves, he leans over to Gilmore and says, with a wink, you don't happen to have 750 gold pieces I can borrow, do you?
You know, I do. I absolutely do, but I'm not loaning it.
Damn.
It was a good try. Good college try. Well done. But he will look at Cadriel as she kind of stays behind.
I take out the once they've all left, I take out the coat that El Dariel gave me, and I ask him, Mr. Gilmore, if you wouldn't, I just want to know if there's any enchantments on this. Was wondering if you would check it for me.
Sure. Yes, of course.
So I hand it over to him.
Very well made. He puts it on the table and he inspects the lining. He it's weird. It's almost like a Sherlock Holmes sort of situation where he even sniffs the inside of the coat and he's like gesticulating with the coat itself to try to figure out what's about it. Well,
And as he's doing that, I'm just looking around and I casually mention, I say, you speak the name of the Whispered One awfully freely.
I I was bait. I don't know if you know the full story of what happened with Vox Machina when they met him in battle. I was taken from my home and nearly made an unwitting lamb to slaughter, all to hurt my family that I call Vox Machina. I wished I could have stayed and fought, but they made it clear that this matter was in their own hands. I refuse to let something as simple as a name have any power over me, as it did then.
Should be careful.
I don't make it known that I announce his existence publicly. I only
Publicly doesn't matter for some things.
True. He continues inspecting the coat, and then says, "Well, this coat does give a slight bonus protection against the elements. Not only that, it does have a minor enchantment where its colors can change at will. It's quite a nice coat, actually. Is this from the Ben Mezd?
Yes, it was Ophelia's coat, and Eldariel gave it as a gift to thank us for finding her.
Well, you should do your best to take wonderful care of this beautiful coat. For this coat, Ophelia's coat, at will, you can just change the color and the lining of the coat. And when in extreme temperatures, it will grant advantage to resist any effects that the elements just have on you, whether it's cold weather, warm weather, or whatever.
I could use one of those. Like, really, right now.
And this is just going to count as a wondrous item. It's not even going to really count as armor or anything like that. It's anybody can wear it.
I'll take the coat and pull it on, and I concentrate for a second and turn it like a deep purple color with like blue trim. And before I leave, I'll look at him and say, I just mean for you to be careful. He's perhaps not as gone as you might think.
For the first time you see Gilmore's expression, like all of the bravado and everything kind of fades, and says, "Do take good care of yourself. Take care of them."
I just pause for a second, swallow kind of like as if I have a lump in my throat, and say, "Do you know of my kind?"
In what meaning?
I'm not a human.
I've heard of a race of people that match your description, I believe.
Among my people, there are some called the Fallen. And I wasn't always. And names have power. I ask that you be careful.
He nods and says, I will not announce his name again.
And I just nod my head. And thank you for your patronage, Mr. Gilmore.
Oh, anytime, darling. And he's immediately right back to anytime you ever need anything, just stop by one of my many franchises. My assistance will be more than assistance. I've just said assistance twice. But yes, anytime.
And I'll reach out and put my hand on his shoulder and say, I'm sorry about you. I understand. And I walk out.
You walk out and you kind of catch a glimpse of him doing one of these. As the door closes behind you. The latch doesn't quite go. And just when you pull it, you go to like glance inside just to see if the enchantment's still there. You look and see the empty house of empty Marin's house. The fireplace looks like it hasn't been lit. It's just a little chilly. No lit lanterns or anything inside.
Excellent.
All right. So, what do you guys wish to do in preparation for this trip?
So outside, Thurston is going, okay, so Dermot, you have your wand now, right?
I'm getting the Wand of Smiles.
That's what you wanted, right?
We haven't divvied all of that stuff up yet.
Thurston assumed that you would want the Wand of Smiles.
I'm
That
glad
sounds
we
like
take-
Dermot. He's like, that sounds like Dermot. Here you go. Sorry, I couldn't get Fiona to become sentient, but you can make people smile.
All in
I catch up with them wearing that like fabulous coat in the new colors that I changed it.
Oh,
Good on
Dermot's gonna be jealous.
Well, then I just hand the armor to Faraday like that. None of us can do this.
Yeah, as we all just kind of look at it like, well,
He'll take it and kind of look it over and say, after yesterday's fight, this
Indeed.
she can't just like
Future.
strip down in the middle of the street.
she just gets
mean-
undressed.
Yeah,
Good.
she's just-
You do your thing.
Dermot, play her a song.
I mean, we can do that thing where we like all stand around her and like shield her.
that's okay.
Cujo, I have a question for you.
I may have an answer for you.
You said that if you expend the wand's last charge, there's a chance that it will be just like a burst effect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is different than what D&D Beyond says.
Oh, did somebody make an actual thing?
Yeah,
It turns
like
into
a
one
Wand
of
of Smiles is
sound.
an actual thing.
Oh,
from
shit.
Xanathar.
It's from Xanathar's.
Oh,
Yeah.
I totally did not. I thought it was a Critical Role thing.
No,
No.
same with the goggles are
Yeah.
Yeah, the goggles definitely
If
are.
you expend the wand's last charge, roll a d20. On a 1, the wand transforms into a wand of scowls.
I love that so much more.
Okay.
My God. Dermot would be so sad.
Yeah.
I would be devastated. I really would.
Can you like get it back after you expend the scowls?
Yeah,
I think it flips
yeah.
back
A
and
wand
forth.
of scowls it's the same item, but instead of smiling, it makes you scowl for an hour.
Yeah.
And if you expend the last charge, roll a d20, and on a 1, it turns from a wand of scowls into a wand of smiles.
Sweet.
That's hilarious.
Ridiculous.
It's one of those do nothing items. It's like a cloak of billowing,
I love
Yeah,
the wondrous
pretty much.
which
item. Make me-
Dermot would also want if we ever found one.
You just want to be like decked out, dude. You want a fancy robe that changes and then have a billowing robe behind you.
You mean an outfit for every occasion? Yes. Yes. Why do you not want that more?
I think
I
Thurston
already
already has
own
that.
Yeah.
You know, if we're on the road, Thurston, we're not going to be able to take your entire army of suitcases with us.
Oh, I might have something for that actually.
I'm watching Rhoda's expression all the blood drain from Thurston's face.
No. I might be able to do something about that. Hang on.
Are there items on D&D
I have
Beyond
them
for
right.
the coat and the short sword? That
No, I have to make those. So I will make
Okay.
those and
I
then
just
put
wanted
them
to
in
make sure.
your inventory.
Reduce.
Sounds good.
Do I have it?
Dorothea,
Alright.
would you perhaps like the wand of healing?
What are you trying to say, Thurston?
Only that I
Arithia
think
would
of
not be
any-
that combative.
one of us should probably carry it, to be honest.
And I think it would be safer with you than me.
I will take it, yes. I will hold on to the wand of healing. Pop that in there. Yeah, that'd be helpful. Especially after yesterday. It would have been nice to have that before, the 3-hour walk home.
Well, I mean,
Decisions and dragons.
I'm just saying that
Decision for me.
there was a
Take
point
a
at which I was
shot.
literally thinking about just saying screw it and sleeping on the side of the road.
You
It
almost
would have been
did.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing
Like,
would have
just-
happened.
And there are spells there are spells that can shrink down your wardrobe.
Oh.
It's like
I
pocket size.
mean, or we could just find a bag of holding.
We could, but
That
I'm
was
pretty
probably
sure.
something we should
Okay.
Those are expensive,
400
though.
gold.
So,
'cause
like-
I'm poor. I have
So
like 30
like,
gold.
actual DM
like
question.
50.
How much money do we have?
I was gonna say probably whatever your starting equipment was plus like 10 gold.
Okay, so we have like no money.
Sick life. I have 40
What?
gold.
To put this in
Plus-
perspective, one gold piece feeds a farming family for a month. It's not that you don't have money.
I had to get here from Wildmount.
That's fair.
Me
So,
too.
Maybe when I write the next letter to my mom, I'll ask her to send us some gold.
is that plus 10 gold per person or plus 10 gold for the party?
10 gold per person. Rose, I would love for you to tell me exactly what you would write in this letter that you would like to send home to Mother.
Write
Oh,
him an
so-
actual letter and send
I
it
mean,
to
I
him.
Mom,
could.
it's me.
Pretty much, yeah. The note is going to go over. He's going to talk about the new friends that he's made, and he's going to talk about everybody in the group, and then he's going to explain that they went on an adventure and they saved the spirits that had become restless, and now they're going to be traveling with a circus. And he's really excited.
Oh my god. Now we're traveling
Yes, tell
with
your
the circus
mother
is
you're
a great thing to include when you're communicating with your mom back home.
And
Uh-huh.
asking for money.
Hey mom, I'm traveling with the circus. Can you please send money?
Can you just like Zealot? Can you put
He's
through
so-
Zelle into my account, please?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you, whatever the D&D equivalent of like, just deposit that into my account, mom? Because
So,
he
like,
hasn't come of age, so he doesn't have access to all his funds. She's still in control of everything.
Jesus
I don't think I
Christ.
have- I don't think I have funds.
Oh yeah, because everyone's a baby.
I don't have any funds really.
Lots of babies.
I mean, technically, we all are actually.
Well, most.
I have no use for funds.
Well,
Yes,
we
you
know
Until-
we're
do.
well
if
until
you
aware.
right
want that
now.
armor, you'll start saving your funds because, well, I adore you, my friend, but I'm not buying it for you.
How far
But
are
we
we
could talk about
traveling with Betmez? Are we thinking? I mean, how far are we trying to go?
We have to figure out is where.
Because that's going to depend on what. I mean, there are
I
things that
mean-
I don't need now, but if we're going to be on the road and not having it stop for a while,
It
I
seems
feel
to me that some signs point to Shade Watch. Perhaps we should
Joran.
start there.
I mean,
That'll take us
that's-
west enough. The
They should
caravan
no,
would
well,
go southwest and then head directly west until they get to the furthest
Yeah,
Iman.
Iman. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think they would head to Iman.
So we can at least go there, and then when we have to head north, because we have to go around a mountain range.
We have to
right?
break off at
Mhm,
West
yes.
Run.
Yeah.
Yeah,
West
like
Run.
we break off and head north.
So, you guys, if you
believe.
wanted to head towards Joran Village, you would have to make your way through the Parchwood Forest. So that's the southern a slightly southwest trail.
Right.
The next closest settlement would be the Turst Fields, which is like a smaller like farming village sort of thing. But there you guys could follow along Parchwood Way up until that first break, and then you guys could start making your way northwest.
We wouldn't have to
toward
go
Jordan
as
Village.
we wouldn't have to go as far south as
Yeah.
it would be, but we would at that kind of crossroad leaving the Ben Mez.
Yeah.
So we can at least
And
go
I'm-
enough south with them.
Head south and a little and kind of southwest,
Mhm.
and then break off.
Yeah.
And if we do that, does that mean there's not a lot in between here and Joran? And Joran is also not that, at least from what I know, not that large.
No, but if we need to stop in Westrun for supplies or something, take that extra time. I'm sure the Ben Mez would love to stay for a little bit and get some well-earned money too.
Mhm.
Yeah, we could
So-
always just stay at the manor.
There we go.
Yeah. So I guess we should. I guess we should
I
think
love-
about-
I love Cujo. I love you DMing. My favorite part is when you get that manic look in your eyes when somebody gives you an idea, and it's like, "Yes, my pretties, do the thing." Yeah. So yeah, I would imagine we would head south, and if we stop at Westrun, depending.
Yeah.
Um,
So we should plan though for basically on foot between here
What, like
and
a week?
oh gosh,
you?
I mean it's
We can have 2 weeks to Westrun.
probably traveling with Ben Mez too because
They're gonna be slower.
they're going to be slower. It's going to be a decent amount of people, but unless someone has a
No.
horse that I don't know about.
No, we don't. We walk.
Yeah, we walk.
We walk. Pretty much everywhere.
we are all in very good shape.
So you guys estimate the journey, at least to the Turst Fields, will probably take you a solid week
Yeah.
of travel through the Parchwood. From Turst to Westrun, probably add on about 3 or 4 days. And then if you guys were going to travel north to Joran Village, it'd probably be another 3 or 4 days travel.
So about ish we stop in Westrun if we stop in.
Like a week and a half maybe with no
Yeah.
Western.
Yeah.
But well, we can make the Western call when we get closer.
So yes, we do need supplies. I assume we don't want to deplete the Ben.
No, I don't want to take advantage of. I mean, they've
Well, perhaps Dermot can lend his musical talents and make up for some of what we
Way
lose
ahead
from
of
them.
you. Way ahead of you.
I figured you were.
Yeah, actually, I look at Dermot and say, "You think if get some gold, maybe get some supplies, our usual routine? There was a stage."
That's why I wanted to stay. Let's go.
wait. What are you doing?
Well, if you
Faraday
two
and
are going to put
Dermot.
on a show,
Saving up for a cloak.
No, saving up for some
Saving,
and
and
a
a
cloak.
well, maybe we should put our party clothes on. And I turn my coat back to, I make it like a magenta pink with like gold on the edges.
Nice. You guys make your way back to the center of town where there is the sun tree and people are still examining at these different kiosks and whatnot, and that stage stands open.
all right.
I jump up on stage and help Dermot up.
Maybe we
Oh,
should go
I
towards the
just
front.
leap onto the stage.
Oh yeah,
I
you
think
can
we're
jump
going to
like
want to
20.
be close for this.
Yes. Yes, I think we.
And I will, once I am back up on stage, I will cast pyrotechnics again
Good
to
morning.
get everyone's attention. A little fireworks display, and then some prestidigitation shower of sparks. And then I will shout out to the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? It is time that we rectify a serious, a sore situation, and then gesture to the empty stage. This stage stands empty, and I intend to solve that problem with a bit of music and a performance from two very dear friends of mine, twirling Fiona with a flourish. First, the love of my life, my pride and joy, Fiona. And also a woman who, with steps like no other and skill to match, my friend Faraday. And I begin to play.
As he plays, I invoke Bloodright, lighting my whip with fire damage.
Fancy.
And as he plays, I start to dance with the music, combining it with a whip show, like you would.
That's fucking awesome.
That's amazing.
This is the first time we've seen it.
Probably.
Can I
Yeah.
roll my performance with advantage if I also cast Fairy Fire?
Or can he roll advantage if I'm assisting?
Can I
am gonna
can I
give-
cast light on the stage just over Dermot so it looks like he's in the spotlight?
Jesus Christ.
There's so many. There's so
Okay.
many.
Dermot,
Yes.
go ahead and roll with advantage because of Fairy Fire. You
Okay.
are also having a spotlight on you for the moment while you're announcing. Are you keeping it on Dermot, or are you moving it over to Faraday as she begins?
I can throw
What do you mean?
one up on Faraday.
You can also do one too?
Yep.
All right, so the DC is lowered for both of you. Faraday, go ahead and make your performance check.
Been rolling real shitty today.
That is an 18 performance for me.
Okay.
Let's go, Faraday. You got this.
Is your light colored?
My light?
Yeah.
It's light colored.
You can color your light. Just
Colored like light.
It's colored like light. No, I think that
Uh-oh.
it's probably just like standard white light. Okay.
Faraday set the stage on fire, didn't she?
Oh shit.
With
What was your-
advantage.
what was
Oh,
your
not with
roll?
advantage. Not with advantage. It was a 2.
My Fairy Fire
That's a little better.
is
12.
snowflakes.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh.
12.
Then the light I put above Dermot, we'll say it's like a wintry, like
I'm going with
nice
moonlight,
white
like winter.
color.
Yeah.
Sorry, Faraday, what was yours again?
12.
12 and then 18?
Yes.
Okay. With the combination of the lights and the Fairy Fire, Faraday, there is a solid moment where you think you actually almost set something on fire.
That's
Luckily, you didn't, and nobody seems to notice because the showmanship is through the fucking roof. You guys attract a small crowd of people who are shopping at the kiosks. And Faraday and Dermot, as you guys are performing, you can look and see climbing out of the cart. You can see some of the Benmezd now dressed down in their regular clothes. You can see that some of them are a little on the emotional side, but they go out, see you, and they all sort of group up together and kind of hug each other and laugh. And some of them pull out instruments of their own and start making their way onto the stage as well. As the performance continues, it turns into a full-on just improv. It's this weird, like, jazz improv sort of scene where everybody's sort of improving and vibing off of one another, and everyone's having a lot of fun. People are dancing. Faraday, make me a perception check.
Roll today.
Are you using the beholder?
I'm not using the beholder because the beholder betrayed me, but clearly I need to bring the beholder back because I got an 8.
8. Let's say 8's enough.
Because I want this to happen.
Because I want this.
I do want it to happen.
That's
Let's be fair.
That's DM for I wanted this to happen. So fuck it.
Looking through, you can see hanging a bit towards the back, there is a woman with a hood up covering the most of her face. But underneath this cloak, you can see that she's wearing a very nice set of what looks to be elven leather armor. And you can see a braid coming through the hood off of her shoulder with this little peak of a blue feather. And she is crouched next to a smaller elven girl. And the elven girl is singing, dancing, and clapping. And this older elven woman is smiling as she is dancing with her daughter. And you guys continue this performance. Faraday, as you do another twirl, you can see that as the performance is nearing an end, you see the older elven woman turn to the little girl and kind of murmur something, and then the girl's shoulders kind of slump a little as she kind of follows behind her. But the older elven woman gives a wave as they disappear down an alleyway. And with that, I'm going to call tonight's first session.
Hooray!
Hey.
Yes. Oh, Thurston is collecting any donations. You guys are like doing magic, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, we're trying to get paid. We're trying to get
Does
paid."
he have like a little thing?
Yeah,
He's like got a tin now. Really quick, he's just kind of like,
Yeah, whatever. Like, he's got like his bag, and he's like, oh, like he started seeing people being like, oh, like putting money down. He was like, guess I'm the accountant. All right, cool. There we go.
he's passing
Would you
the
like
hat.
to know the haul?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Oh,
So initially the coins were a little sparing, given that people were still like, okay, these two random people just took the stage, and then the bed mez started getting involved. You pick up 47 copper, 70 silver, and 66 gold pieces.
Nice. That's awesome.
Wait, how much? What was it?
47 copper,
Mhm.
70 silver, and 66 gold pieces.
we need to do that more often.
if for no other reason than it's fantastic.
When Dermot gets back, Thurston's going to explain. Okay, if you really want that robe, you need to open a high yield savings account. Okay, and he gives him like financial planning advice.
Oh my god.
He's been trained his whole life to be a businessman. That's all he knows.
Thurston, maybe you should take Arithia around and show her how to haggle properly.
I actually really would appreciate that.
Sure.
I don't think I'm doing it right.
Typically, you're supposed to lower the price until they meet yours, not go above what they offer you.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
don't
think
pull a
I've ever,
grog.
like, gone
Yeah.
up, like, negotiated it up.
She's a wizard. She should have been higher than.
I have an intelligence of 6. I think I know what I'm doing.
Thank you. I have an intelligence of 17. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Okay, intelligence and wisdom are not the same thing, though. That's
Yeah.
different traits.
Yep. That is exactly right. Also, you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
With that in mind, I'm going to call tonight's session with that little heartwarming note.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We're gonna be doing this weekly. I'm so fucking excited. So
This is gonna
anybody
be
that's
great.
watching, if you feel like following the channel, definitely do so because we want to keep doing these. And yeah, that's my pitch. I got it.
Because we want to keep doing it.
I got it.
Yeah.
So yes, so Wednesdays 6:30. I have the information on the screen now. You can find us on Twitter. We do have a Facebook as well, Nerdhouse Tabletop. Obviously Twitch. Follow us so you get the notifications on when we go live. We will be doing every Wednesday at 6:30 for D&D. Primarily this campaign. Sometimes we may sprinkle in new things. Some guests, including, friends or anything like that. And we also have, don't forget, Sea Shanty Sundays now is a new program we're doing. About 5:30 or 6:30, I think we had decided.
Yeah,
Or so.
6:30 is the magical time.
Where we will be playing Sea of Thieves with Cujo Plays Games and other friends. So you can find that here on Nerdhouse Tabletop as well as Cujo Plays Games and my personal Twitch channel, Cozy Catastrophe. We are trying to get the Nerdhouse channel to affiliate, preferably this month or within February. So any help, any follows you can throw our way would be wonderful. Because we'd love to keep this going.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, tell your parents.
Even if you just put us up on a screen somewhere and mute us, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just do it.
We're cool with that.
I'm cool with that. I'm fine.
You gotta wash dishes and fold laundry. Like, come on.
It's
Like,
fine.
just
But the story's fun. You should listen
Crap,
to
we
the
should
story.
probably do that.
sorry, didn't mean to
Alright.
be derail.
All right, everybody.
yeah.
Don't forget to love each other. And I'm not going to do Is It Wednesday yet?
No,
But
that's their
No.
we
thing.
will.
we should
You-
find our
We're
own
already playing in their
tagline.
world. We should come up with our own.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week for more decisions and or dragons.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.